right, we're on, guys. I know it's been like absolute hellas since we've last been together. Welcome to another episode of Part of the Narrative. Actually, no, it's Part of the Narrative. No, that's not it. It's Part of the Narrative. There we go. I'm your crazy host, Mara. These are all my friends. We have MG, Yousif, and Erika joining us today. Woo!
Yay!
Everybody, applause all around. Okay.
Well, Bach.
So today we are finally getting back to Man Up. MG, you left.
MG left.
MG just dipped.
It's like one of her favorite movies, and now she's just gone.
Yeah, no, she just disappears.
Right. This is like the one that she wanted us to do.
Yeah, she forced us to watch.
Yeah,
I
I had to man up to watch Man Up.
Oh, did you?
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
You know,
I was waiting.
I'm getting my thing set up so that the quality is better.
Oh.
Question is, can you hear me better than you could?
Oh yes,
much
definitely.
better. That's
A million times
fantastic.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. Let's see here. You can keep chatting for a second if you
Does
want.
this mean
it's
your
okay.
face is going to be blurry because you made your sound better now?
I hope not. I hope not.
Yes,
That's
so it has
straight
been
up.
a long time, and everybody's setup is a little bit different, and we've had life changes. How long has it been? Like literally 2 months?
I
September?
think so.
It probably
October?
has.
September.
It was definitely
yes.
before MG moved. So
Was it September?
It was, because
Do
I
you
think our
remember?
last video was when my grandma passed.
Oh gosh.
I'm pretty sure that was the see, I didn't want to say that and like dip all the energy. Come on, guys, keep it up and going. So yeah, that was September.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it was
Okay,
like the
MG?
week before, right?
I'm just getting things set. Give me a second.
Oh, I thought you like needed us to call like the ambulance for you.
No, you were saying keep it up, and I was like up.
Oh, I thought
Oh.
she dropped something. Okay.
That's a fair guess.
Yes.
I am clumsy.
So
Trying to
I
do
had
it so that the mic
uh,
isn't in the camera, so that's why it's taking a second.
Oh, it's okay. Mine is kind of dipping into the corner. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh.
Oh, Yusuf's
No,
gone
Yusuf
too.
left.
Oh, God.
No, I'm
And
still
then there were
around.
two.
I just need to get more coffee. 'Cause- okay. I got to tell a story, guys. I got to tell a story.
Go for it.
Terrible
Story.
Hold on, let me get back on camera
Okay.
so people could look at me while I tell my story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
like that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Boy, my body just decided to wake up like after like 6:30 in the morning. You know, I went to bed at 2 a.m. Then like 6:30, it just like wake up,
You're
bitch,
kidding.
and it just like slapped me in the face, and now I'm awake. And so
Great
yeah,
start.
it's fantastic story, right?
Wait,
So
is that
that's
your
why I had to-
story? That's
Yeah,
the
so I
whole
had to get
story.
more. Yeah, that's the whole story. So that's why I had to get more coffee. So because I only got like 4 hours of sleep. So
We need to see your face for that story, really.
My mom woke me up this morning at like 6 a.m. I was gonna sleep in. It's Saturday.
Why?
It's gonna be great. So she wakes me up because she's getting ready for work, and we had a internet outage.
Oh
So
no.
she comes into my room and
No.
she's like, "Hey, what's going on with the internet? I can't do this and I can't do that. And is your thing working? And is your thing working?" And I'm sitting there like, daytime? What?
I don't know if it's working. I'm asleep.
I'm asleep. So I remember getting my phone and like doing my whole little like TV remote thing from my phone. And I'm like, it's fine. And I went back to sleep and I woke up and it wasn't working. And I was like, God. So I was like in and out of sleep this morning. And it was very,
Wait, how'd you get the
Eventful.
internet work? How'd you get the internet working again?
it was an outage. They
Oh.
texted me when they fixed it. And they were like, hey, it's
Oh.
fixed. And I was like, oh shit. Okay.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Big reveal.
Present yourself.
Nice.
And Yousif is out in the living room now instead of tucked away in his little office, right? That's where you were before, right? With the door.
I mean, before.
He's been here too.
He's
Yeah,
been here too.
actually, yeah, I've been here for like 6 months.
What? Well, we've been gone for 2 months, so but that
Yeah.
doesn't excuse the other months.
No, it doesn't.
Hmm.
That's good. But that doesn't excuse the other month.
No.
Don't be down on yourself. It's okay. Just use the pandemic as an excuse for
Well,
any brain.
You can also
mishaps.
go back and look at the footage and confirm that you might actually be right.
I'm
And he
pretty
doesn't
sure I'm
know.
right. No, I just been doing early
No,
stuff.
he's definitely been there before.
Oh, I've seen
See,
him there before, but
Yeah.
I recognized the stuffed animal on the couch, but I swear
Mm.
the picture was in the other room, or maybe it was a different picture.
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. There was another room.
Well,
Yeah,
There,
I
well,
mean-
there was another room, but he has also been in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I've confirmed there was another room.
Yeah. I was at my parents' place for a few months, and now I'm in my old place.
Same.
Because I
Y'all are
couldn't afford
goofy.
it
I
now.
love it. We're all goofy today, and it's wonderful. This is gonna be a great episode. Oh my God, what was that? Yousif, that was you? Do it
Goofy.
again.
It was goofy.
Oh,
It's pretty good.
Weirdly, a woman from Stevens is married to the guy who does Goofy's voice.
No.
No way!
Yes.
currently or
What?
past Goofy?
The current voice. I think he's
The
been
current
the voice
Goofy.
for a very long time.
Yeah, like
Oh.
50-something
Oh.
years.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Wait,
Cynthia knows.
Yousif, why do
friends
you
with
know
her.
that?
Cynthia from.
I know a lot of
Stevens is
things
friends with her.
about voice actors.
That is so interesting. I am learning 2 things from 2 different people, and I'm just like, my brain's like, what the hell? Like, what?
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
Fair.
cool.
his-
Both things are
Yeah, his
cool.
name is
Yousif-
leaving me.
Here.
But he also plays Pluto.
yeah.
Mmm.
Pluto's his dog,
Um,
right? The dog's dog.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the actual Bill Farmer. That's his name.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah.
goofy forever. But if you watch a lot of the Disney cartoons, he always plays like a Southerner at some kind of thing or another. His latest role is in Amphibia. He plays Hop Hop, who's like the kids. He's like the father of the family, but completely paranoid. But he basically like uses the goofy voice in a higher pitch, so you can
Oh.
like hear when the moment he's like yelling or screaming, you can still hear like the goofy yell a lot. So it's funny. So like yeah.
So
Love
wait,
how
who
much
do-
Yousif knows about this stuff.
I know, right? But who do we know who is married to this person?
We don't know her. Cynthia is friends with her, and she went to Stevens. So
Oh.
Oh, good old Stevens.
Yeah, good old
Stevens
Stevens.
alumni. Oh my gosh.
Represent.
There you go. You can totally reach out to this person one of these days. Be like,
Yeah.
hey, I
can
know a
set
lot
you up
about
with-
you.
But yeah.
Do it in your
Oh, that's
goofy
not
voice.
creepy.
Definitely call him in your goofy voice.
Hoy, I know all about you. Hoy.
Maybe you
It's
can
not
inherit
bad,
the
you said.
role eventually.
Not bad.
Yeah, there you go.
That is pretty on point.
Be like, do
Yeah.
you need a sick day? I'll come in for you.
Wait. Also, you're friends with a lot of voice actors, so does that mean you are potentially going to become a voice actor yourself?
Ooh, good side money.
No, I'm not friends. I just know a lot about voice actors.
Oh, I thought you said I know a
knows
lot of them. I thought you
about
said
no, I
you.
just
Very important
No,
about
I-
there.
yeah, I missed it.
yeah. No, I do have a couple friends who've done some voice acting work, but like nothing super popular. One of them is being hush hush on a major game studio. She's working for a major game studio,
Oh.
so expect
Hopefully
to see
not
her
the ones in trouble.
Oh gosh.
No, yet.
Turn that off.
But knowing the game studio and she won't tell me what she's working on, but I know because I'm good at deducing things. We're not gonna see anything. I'm not gonna see her work for another 2 years, so at least.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's cool though. That's cool.
We'll have to try to remember this so you can tell us in 2 years what it is.
You're like, hey guys, you remember that one random day?
Our memories
Yeah,
are
I'll
really
try to
good
remember.
too.
Well,
It's
okay,
recorded.
It's gonna be online.
It's
This is
recorded.
recorded. This is
Yeah,
recorded.
okay.
As long as
we
Mara
definitely
doesn't lose
know- Yeah, as long.
I mean, because this is
You
the most
know,
important part
I'm
of this whole
actually a
thing.
little worried because I don't think I have this saving to my external hard drive. I think it's trying to save to my computer. The computer is not very spacious.
Yeah,
But it's
me
okay.
neither.
We'll figure that shit out.
Will we? Or we won't have it. Either one.
Exactly.
We either will
Whatever
figure it
happens
out or
will
it will not be
happen.
here anymore.
Whatever
Well-
happens will happens.
It'll happen. I mean, if Mara is capable of
Happens?
remembering my last living space, she'll be more than capable of remembering this conversation.
But she didn't remember this living space, though.
Well, hasn't been doing like the writers group, so I feel like maybe we're like confusing what's happened.
That's
So
I haven't
don't know.
either, though, so I can't really speak to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been
I
more
really want
neglected.
to do
man,
the
I've been
writing
missing
groups
that.
again.
Dude.
I just
Like, I feel like every time I come onto the Zoom session, like I wait for like 10 minutes, then log out, then like MG or somebody would email like 2 minutes later. It's like, I'm logged in. But then I would notice like I would see the email like an hour later, just like, fully I stayed on for an extra 2 minutes.
Yep, pretty much.
All right, guys, let's get into
Story
it.
of my life.
Story of
Yes.
everybody's life, Yousif. Like, guys, everything's just
like
weird
Rocky.
in my setup right now. Okay,
So
man up.
yeah, so we were talking earlier before we started recording about broadcast news and
Right.
about how Mara and I and one of our friends did a whole little video talking about broadcast news, and Mara actually came around a little bit on rom-coms with that film, and then Mara lost the recording.
And then I lost the recording.
So we don't have evidence of the fact that Mara was like, rom-coms are okay.
Technically, this is Apple's fault for not making
Oh,
the
really?
computers with
Okay.
bigger memory and least expensive. Like, come on, man. Come on. All right, go ahead.
But-
Sorry.
Is broadcast news a rom-com?
Broadcast news is a rom-com.
Okay.
Broadcast news is Holly Hunter,
Yeah.
who is just great in everything. But I actually, it's funny because we were talking about broadcast news and we decided to start recording because I was about to say this, but this should be on here because this is a lead into Man Up. I actually heard of broadcast news. I'd heard of broadcast news before, but not, in a way that I was like, I'm gonna go watch that. Just like in passing and just over the years. But there was a panel at the Austin Film Festival last year, which was talking about, it was a panel of a bunch of different writers who were each talking about a film that made them want to be a writer, made them want to do movies, made them enjoy movies in some way, some film that really had an impact on them. And Tess Morris, who is the screenwriter for the film Man Up that we're going to talk about today, she's kind of known, if anybody knows who Tess Morris is, it's probably has to do with rom-coms, because she's kind of known for championing the rom-com that has gotten so much flack over the years, and Mara could definitely attest to that part of it. And
I mean, it's rom-com's own fault that it ended up in this situation, man. But go ahead.
Wait, does she have a podcast or something talking about?
She
Okay.
does actually. And yeah, let's plug that because that would be great because it's a great podcast. She
Perfect.
and Billy Murnett, and I actually have it here. Billy Murnett wrote
Oh, yeah,
Writing the
yeah.
Romantic Comedy, which
Yeah.
is a book that's all about writing the romantic comedy, as
Yeah.
it says. So he's kind of the expert on this particular subgenre. And he and Tess Morris do a podcast that's called You Had Us at Hello, where they just talk about
yeah.
rom-coms, and it's great. It's really, really entertaining. The two of them are really funny, and they just have this passion for rom-coms. And so anybody who likes rom-coms will love that podcast. Anybody who doesn't like rom-coms probably would appreciate them more after listening to the podcast, Mara. So yes, You Had Us at Hello, check it out. There has not been a new episode since I think earlier this year. It's definitely been a sporadic thing. It was something they did for a little bit, and then they kind of took a break during the pandemic, and then they did like one more episode at the beginning of the year and haven't done anything since. So let's get more episodes out. Let's get
Yay.
it popular again so more episodes come.
I'll make sure
But
to
anyway,
tag them on this so that they hear you,
For sure,
MG. And
for
then
sure.
they have you on because
Yeah.
you're so good at this.
well, I actually, so on,
Better yet, we're gonna take over their podcast. So like,
Oh, yeah, that's
all four
cool.
of us.
Absolutely.
We'll take over the podcast and we'll
That's
just talk
totally
about it.
cool.
We won't be better than them though, because they're so entertaining. But that's fair.
See,
Yeah,
that's what you think, but actually, MG,
You haven't
you're
listened to
pretty
the
entertaining.
podcast.
Wait,
Okay.
MG,
We're very entertaining.
MG, are you
Very.
gonna write a romantic
Hurt.
comedy soon, or?
Yeah, she's gonna help me with mine.
Oh, yay! Okay.
There's
See, I
that.
saved you, MG.
You saved me, but I have a few ideas.
I mean, you're reading the book
Yeah, no, this
and
is
you're talking about it, so.
during NaNoWriMo, which was November. For people
yeah.
who are watching this that don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it's National Novel Writing Month, and it's something that like during the month of November, it started out as a challenge to try to write a novel in a month, and kind of turned more into this just like a way to just like really focus on writing during that month, because very few people can actually write a novel in that period of time, but it does get you kind of back into writing, and it got me back into writing. But I
Unless
decided
you're sniffing a lot of cocaine, then you could write a novel within a month. You
Maybe.
know, it's possible.
I don't think it's
One
a
man
good
has done
novel
it.
either.
that's what Yousif says. I'm not going to speak to that.
They made a really
Um,
funny joke on that show Ghosts about cocaine yesterday, which I thought was kind of hilarious for a CBS comedy. But anyway.
Oh, if you want to talk about comedies, like I'm actually annoyed about the fact that CBS is rebooted Ghosts, because the British version is so good, because it's got Charlotte Ritchie and she's amazing in it. So
My
yes.
friend does the casting on the American version.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
So
Awesome.
I have to be.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. It just for me, it's just like because the British one is so good, and
Yeah.
there's something about British humor that
Yeah.
doesn't translate in the same way in American comedy. It's not about the cast.
100%.
It's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it's more about the writing, unfortunately. But I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna actually speak against it. I just saw a trailer and I was like, oh, another reboot. No, but
yeah.
it's fine. It's
You
fine.
should
I'm
try
sure
it.
it's great.
Just try it. Try it.
I'm sure it's entertaining. I like a lot of the cast. Rose McIver's great, so I feel like I would enjoy it. But anyway, so during NaNoWriMo, I actually like promoted this book on my Instagram.
Oh yes.
That's
I
right.
saw
I
that.
have an Instagram, and I
On your
wasn't going to say that on here.
Instagram, and I'll
but,
plug it
yeah.
right there.
Ugh,
Wherever.
no.
Yes, it's gonna pop up on the screen while you're talking. So go ahead. Keep going.
MG is blowing up.
Blowing
so-
up.
Yeah.
I'm such a novice on all of these platforms, and I haven't figured out how to use all of them, and so
I'm
it's
struggling.
still
Your
it's definitely a
enthusiasm
learning
is.
process.
I'm
but-
struggling. What the
Just-
hell is a Discord? I just still.
But
What the hell is a
Um,
Discord?
But I did. I plugged this on my Instagram, and I follow Tess Morris on Instagram. She's amazing on there, by the way. If you want to follow her, she's great. She does a lot of like she plays like the song that's like in her head at the time.
Hey,
and
she's not paying you to be a sponsor.
I know,
okay?
I know,
but
you
she's
say,
just
like,
awesome.
Why
We're
are
gonna
you
spend
plugging
so much
yourself
time
and
during
you're
this.
plugging
Plug
Tess
yourself.
Morris? Yes.
Your
We're talking because we're
Instagram,
talking about her thing.
your
and that's the thing.
Twitter, all your social medias.
Okay, but here's the thing about me though, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna tag Tess Morris in this post, and she liked it, and she commented on it.
Oh yay!
That's so wonderful.
It was
MG,
so cool.
You
I
are
was so
you are
excited.
at the start of the golden years of your career. You're at the start, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
I agree.
We all are.
Everything is
all
falling
are.
off my
It's-
table. Hang on.
I'm totally looking up your post.
Okay.
It's such a wonderful feeling when your hero likes your things, you know, like someone
Yeah.
you follow,
Yeah.
who has like millions of followers, suddenly just like it's like, but not only like, but then they comment on it. It's just like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
I was like, it would be cool if she liked it, because she does seem active on Instagram, and when people are active on Instagram, that makes me think that they might like it. But to go a step further, she wrote like 3 little hearts on it, which was
Aw.
And I have met Tess a couple times because she's at the Austin Film Festival every year. She wasn't this year because pandemic,
COVID.
but she's been a regular since she premiered Man Up at the theater there. It wasn't like the world premiere, but it was definitely one of the bigger premieres of it.
Well,
Was that
I'm
AFF?
hoping that when your romantic comedy comes out, she plugs you.
We'll see.
Oh, they're gonna
And
be
doesn't-
best friends by then.
No,
It's gonna
no.
happen after
Yeah,
this
Tess-
crossover, so we're gonna merge into her podcast.
Tess Morris is gonna direct her rom-com. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh
Tess
my
Morris is gonna
God,
make a directorial debut
Oh,
and
Whoa.
written by MG. You know, we're
Yeah.
gonna see her name, and then
get into
you know we're
existence.
and we won't be
Pretty cool.
invited to the red carpet, but we'll still watch the movie and tag her.
Excuse you, Mara's
Insta.
gonna be invited. Mara's
And then we're
be
gonna do an
invited.
episode of this about
Well,
yours.
Mara's gonna be my producer, so she's gonna already be
Yes.
involved.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so then me and Erika won't be invited.
Come on,
You
I
guys
want to be
can
an extra in the movie. Like,
You could be in the
I'll just
movie,
be in the
yeah.
background.
I'll,
We'll
I'll
put you
write,
at a,
I'll write roles
restaurant table.
specifically for the two of you to play. How about
Yeah,
that?
and then Yousif and I will talk
Oh, awesome.
about it. If you don't
Oh,
invite
can I have a
us.
Can I have a Quentin Tarantino rant in mind? I want to have a
Sure.
Quentin Tarantino rant. Okay, thank you.
Do it.
Wait, today? Right now?
No, in the movie.
No,
He wants-
in the
that's what
movie,
he wants
in the
his part
movie.
to be.
Oh,
in the
duh.
movie.
Yeah. I want to. Just so I can fulfill that love,
Like
that made up love story.
we're joking about this, but like my brain is on fire right now thinking about it.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, that's
So.
good.
Because I have a few rom-com ideas in my brain, like for different rom-com ideas in my brain.
I'm
So-
so
I
excited
can
for you.
write it
You
out.
always said that your toughest, the thing you had trouble with was coming up with a whole bunch of ideas, and now look at you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's like watching
Another
like,
plug. This
You're
this
opening
helped.
up.
This helped me with that.
It's really, oh my god,
It's the
yes,
artist's way.
yes.
This is
I
just like
told
my
you.
NaNoWriMo on this as well. Like I'm just doing all the books that I use for my NaNoWriMo series, and I'm like plug.
And I can tell it's really impacted your confidence. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Yeah.
Huzzah!
Yes.
I know.
Huzzah! All right, let's
Sorry
Anyways,
for my
so man
delay.
But the reason
Gotta man up.
the reason
Sorry.
that I watched Broadcast News was because Tess Morris picked that as the film that she wanted to talk about like what made her want to write things. It was this movie that made her want to do things. So that sort of, because I already liked Tess Morris, because I had seen Man Up and I appreciated the way that she subverts some rom-com things in that, to see what rom-com she recommends was really intriguing to me. And obviously Mara agrees, even though we don't have the evidence of it, that she has some good taste, because she has been on panels where she talked about rom-coms, but she spent a lot of time talking about like When Harry Met Sally and like Nora Ephron stuff, which is kind of like the go-to rom-com, which you are never going to hear me knock those. Mara would love to knock When Harry Met Sally.
I mean,
but
Harry's such an
Oh
asshole.
man.
he is. But I'm such a rom-com nut. I
Actually,
have to
they're
love
both
Nora Ephron.
assholes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right after I said that, I was like, she's kind of an asshole
The-
too.
The only good characters were their two friends with the table.
I mean, it's hard to not
table.
love Carrie Fisher. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
She's great at everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway, so I was actually expecting her to talk about When Harry Met Sally on this panel. Like I thought that was the film she was gonna pick, and then she picked Broadcast News, and I was like, oh, okay.
Still don't get
Gotta
why
check
people
this
like
out.
that movie so much. The whole film world is obsessed about When Harry Met Sally, and I don't fucking get it. Why? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. we're not
No,
getting into it.
that's
right
all
now.
I was gonna
Here.
say. I was just saying that like we were just talking about Broadcast News, and the reason that I wanted to watch Broadcast News is because Tess Morris recommended it, and Tess Morris wrote the script for Man Up. So that brings us
Two man
Full
up.
circle.
Yay!
Full
Way to
circle.
bring it
after
around.
20-minute explanation about Tess Morris.
Oh, it's good. People
Um,
will watch us because we're entertaining, not because they want to know about this actual movie. They watch this for us. They could watch the movie if they wanted to know about the movie.
True. But they also probably want to know what we think of the movie, so we should probably get to that.
Yeah. They probably want to know it, or maybe they saw the movie before listening to us. They're like, "Oh, I want to hear these people's opinions about it." Or maybe it's like, "I'm not sure if I should watch this movie. Let me hear these people's opinion about it." Then I go watch the movie.
If that's all right. So I wanted to start with reading a synopsis of it. I think that's how I'm gonna start doing these things. I'm trying to have a bit more structure. And now I realize my allergies
Sorry,
are
that wasn't allowed.
crazy.
You might want to tell us about that structure beforehand.
Oh no, it's a surprise. Everything is
Okay.
chaos here at this show. So yeah, you all just show up. Don't worry about the rest.
Okay.
Y'all just show up and be ready to talk. Don't worry about everything else.
Sounds good.
All right, so Man Up. Why are there two different synopses? I don't understand.
That's how IMDb likes to do
Look
things.
for the
People
one-
keep submitting
There's
synopsis.
another movie called
I'll do
Man
the
Up.
short
Blake
one.
Bell and Simon Pegg. Go to the right, Man Up.
No, I am looking at the right
Okay.
one. It's just okay. I'll just do the short one.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. I'm looking
Right?
too.
I'm
Yeah.
like, this one's like a paragraph, and this
One of
is
them
like a
super long.
sentence. Right. Okay. A single woman takes the place of a stranger's blind date, which leads to her finding the perfect boyfriend. Oh God, what a terrible synopsis.
Yeah, why'd you pick that one?
I didn't
Yeah,
sure
come on,
when I
Mara.
started
Then you
it-
picked that one.
when I started it, it didn't seem bad, and then I got to the end, and it was like the perfect boyfriend, and I'm like, oh
That's
God,
kind of like the log
She's
line,
just
right?
looking for her perfect boyfriend. Oh my god.
like that.
And is he
And I think the
perfect,
point is
really?
not the perfect boyfriend. It's her. It's about how well they fit together. Not about like, oh, he's perfect. Because it's
Oh,
not.
I'm just
it's
talking
how
about the
they're not
choice
perfect.
of words. The choice of
Yeah.
words here in this
Yeah.
sentence.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make an attempt to make our own synopsis of it.
Would you think that would be entertaining? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I
I
mean,
don't know.
we're writers, right? We could like log line shit out of anything.
Oh my God!
Do
and
we
try
want
to
to,
guess
like,
what the log line is?
On the spot
Yes.
log line and show that we're not really good writers, though. Like, do we want to reveal that to people?
Yes, because this show is about confidence and following your passion. So we do things from the
Oh,
foundation, the building blocks.
My-
oh, okay.
Mistakes
New
all
structure.
around.
Mara, can I recommend a new structure?
Sure.
We should start off with each of us giving our own version of our log lines, and then that's the synopsis. Yeah, we just like come up with it on the spot at the beginning.
Holy
Because
crap.
that
And then,
can also
like-
show like
I'm
what part of
terrified.
the movie really resonated with us. If we like which part
Yeah.
we decide to say is what the plot is.
Mm.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yep.
Okay, I'll start. Can I start?
Yes.
I just come up with one in my head. Okay. In order to avoid a very social awkward situation, a woman goes on a bunch of dates with a guy, only for him to find out that she was not the blind date he was looking for. Eventually, after more up and down and turns and finding out about each other's past, they found out more how much they are perfect for each other, and they fell in love within a span of 24 hours.
Wonderful.
Good job.
Good job. MG, Erica, who's going
Oh my
next?
god, I feel too much pressure.
I'll go next. It's going to be terrible.
Mm.
Two emotionally damaged strangers meet by accident and lie to each other throughout the entire movie. But then they find out that, you know what, their lies mesh together and they work. Yes.
They lie to each other the entire movie.
Mine is like a desperate woman
Mhm.
Oh,
who-
damn.
You gotta start there.
whose biological clock is ticking finds someone that may or may not be an actual good person, and she settles for him.
Yes. They settle for each other.
Do we watch the same movie? I feel like we watched a different movie.
Go ahead, MG, your turn.
Oh gosh, so much pressure. Okay,
Hey,
give me
hey.
just a second. Yeah.
The thing about pressure is that it makes diamonds.
That's
And
right.
how did I know that's what you were going to say?
Wow, that is impressive that you knew he was going to say that.
That's his sense of humor. That's his sense of humor. Okay. Let me think about this.
Shine bright like a diamond, MG.
Yes. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Maybe like tired of her dull, depressing life, a woman makes a split decision to steal another woman's blind date, And-
Mm.
winds up on a wild night with this
Mm.
man that actually results in an unconventional romance.
MG, you should write these things for IMDb.
I saw this movie
IMDb.
before you guys, so it's been in my
That's
brain
rude.
longer.
And I
I've
also
known it
feel like
longer.
you could also tell by our log lines who liked the movie the most.
So true. That is, yeah, especially Mara's.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm more curious
These
about
people
Erica.
have
You
so
know,
many
like,
problems.
A desperate woman. She is
Well, no,
desperate.
she labeled herself as desperate. Oh, wait, no, the
Is she
other girl
now?
labeled her as desperate.
And quite honestly, that's how they label every single woman in movies over
Desperate.
30.
Oh God, I'm over 30. And
I'm
single.
not saying in real life we're desperate,
Jesus.
anybody, but I'm just saying that's how it makes it seem in rom-coms a lot. Very often.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I guess that says to the audience, because women see rom-coms a lot more than guys, and usually it's women over a certain age that want the fantasy of a romance like that.
But I do want to say
Whirlwind.
that I think that they intentionally make her into such a wreck at the beginning, because she really is in bad shape at the beginning of that movie. You can tell that she's at a party that she doesn't want to be at, and she's socially awkward, and she's having all these issues that are like beyond just like, oh, Meg Ryan can't get her life together. Like, she really looks like she cannot get her life together. And then she winds up on this train across from this woman who's an actress who's been in a lot of things and and plays a lot of these very put together women in these things as well, and she looks so young and naive and like hopeful about life, and she's so excited about this blind date and everything. And there's these shots of the two of them across from each other where you're just like, these are two completely different women with different outlooks on themselves and the world, and they're not
also,
even the wardrobe.
Yeah, but also
Like the colors of the wardrobes is like so different as well, you know. So it's like
but a lot
visually
of that
stunning.
is like, she's the lead character is over 30 and the other one is in her 20s. So I feel like that's kind of automatically like playing into that.
I think it plays into it. But I think what Tess Morris does in this is she plays into a lot of the rom-com stereotypes and cliches, but then does something different with it than what other films do. Because what happens is it's like she's not put together by the end. She's still a mess. But she's found someone unconventional, in the most unconventional way, who meshes with that mess in a weird way. And I the thing that blew me away the first time I saw this film is that they give away the twist so early on. Like, this kind of film would normally be like, she goes all the way to the end, and by the end of it he's like, wait, you're not who I thought you were. And then it's like, but we've gotten to know each other so well that I guess this was the better thing anyway. And then they kiss, and then that's the end of the movie. But in this movie, it's like 40 minutes in, and he already knows that she's not who she says that she was. And now it's like, what happens if you reveal that twist earlier? Where does it go from there? Where does the night go if she gives away the secret earlier on? How is there still story after that? It feels much more realistic and authentic to what that experience would be like, because, you know, very few people will be able to keep up that ruse that whole time. And I was like, I honestly like didn't know what was going to happen in the movie. It was one of the most unpredictable rom-coms that I've seen, because rom-coms tend to be pretty predictable. And so when that happened, I was like, well, where does it go from here?
What made it even more interesting is like how that set up conflicts, but it's more like they created their own resolution as well. It's just like, oh, you're not the person who you say you were. Oh shit, there's my ex-wife with her new husband, because we're still in the middle of a divorce process.
Yes.
How can I use this situation to make things worse for everybody?
Yeah.
And so which, okay, well, I kind of want to relate back. I know we're kind of jumping between timelines per se, but like, I related to Nancy a lot in the very beginning, just because she does not want to be in this social situation. She does like, I don't want to, you know, I'm in a kind of a mess, and I don't want to be around people, which could make things worse for everyone. And it doesn't help that someone's trying to hook me up with some other guy, you know, and things kind of got worse from there. So she was sort of like, in the beginning, she's getting ready, you know, trying to go through, and she has her little journal as well, you know, trying to like, do a lot of things. I relate to that a lot, because that's the stuff I kind of go through in my head every time I need to go to a party or a social situation, or going on a Zoom meet like this. You know, it's just like, I gotta go through all these steps and create all these things in my head just to like get myself ready to talk to people. Yeah, exactly. Just to get ready to talk to. And I relate to that a lot. And even more so is that when she met up with Simon Pegg, his character name is Jack, so Nancy and Jack. And then I also relate to Simon Pegg a lot too, because I would do the same exact shit that he would on like on an excitable, I guess, like first date kind of thing, you know? It's
Yeah.
just like he's just rambling and talk, and he's just like also socially awkward. But what I love most about that situation is all the seeds that was being planted that led up to that, you know? It's like,
Mhm.
you know, like you would think like anyone with a sound mind would just tell him, oh, I'm not the right person, or you thinking of someone else. But like beginning, her sister like planted the seed, just like, oh, you know, you're kind of a mess. That when she met that other girl in the train, she goes on about this. Oh, this book is great. You should take it. Here, in fact, I'll give you the book too. Which, by the way, the use of props in this movie is just absolutely fantastic. Like, I just love how
Yeah.
everything. I feel like nothing was like really wasted in terms of like
Yeah,
physical objects, because like they all contributed to something in some way.
Yep.
And so then like, so all these seeds are planted again. Then all of a sudden Simon Pegg shows up, and like he's also like charming and socially awkward, but it's like he goes on this rambling and he's just like very excited. Like, how can you say no to this guy? Really, it's just like, and here you are with this book, and it's just like, what can I do? You know, like, okay, I'll just go on with it. And like, I feel like if I was in Nancy's shoes, I'll probably end up doing the same thing when someone's just like mistaking me for someone else and goes on this long rambling thing. I'm just like, I can't tell this person because I might hurt this person's feelings. Like,
Can
I don't want to be.
And the
Can I
complete
tell a
opposite.
story about that? Because I've heard the origin story of this film. Because
Oh,
Tess
okay.
Morris has told this story several times, and I love this
Mhm.
story. She said that she had this experience where she was like the Nancy of this story, where she had gotten mistaken for a blind date, and someone came up to her and they said, "Are you Claire?" And she said, "Oh, no," and the person walked away. And in that moment, she just in her brain was just like, "What if I'd said I was Claire? Like,
Such
what
a
would-
writer.
What would that
A
have
writer.
what would have happened there?" And I was just like, I love
Yeah.
that. Like, what if I was Claire? And that's how this
Yeah.
whole thing came about. And I love that story. So
Mm.
Which is absolutely fantastic because, you know, and it, obviously in real life situation, you know, that would exactly happen, right? Like no one would
Mhm.
just walk up to you, go on this exciting ramble about things and like, you know, try to be awkward and fun and whatever. But this goes on. But and the adventures they had together and just like her awkwardness and trying to like keep the secret, you know, with the guy in the bowling alley, you know,
Yeah.
that creeper dude.
Oh,
Rory
man.
Kinnear, I'm sorry. I apologize. Anybody watching this movie, I apologize for Rory Kinnear.
You had nothing
I
to do
mean,
with
Hey, you know what?
needed that. You kind of needed that, like, weird comic
Asshole.
relief
We-
from him. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and
needed
plus,
somebody
talk
to
about like
hate.
talk about like a terrible situation, you know, like what that guy is like, you know, how he's like just like pushing his boundaries, you know, and like
Mhm.
trying to like, you know, have his way with her, like that I'm pretty sure like, well, me being a guy, I don't have that situation, but I'm pretty sure like a lot of women will like, well, could
Mhm.
totally see that happening to them, you know, just like some
Yeah,
some
some
dude
guy
will like,
trying to force his way into your life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I think it's happened to everyone.
The
I
conflict.
had some guy follow me to the bathroom one time, and I was like, "I'm trying to use the bathroom," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm coming in with you," and I was like, "No,
Oh, I have a better one.
I actually have to use the bathroom. Like, I don't think you understand. This isn't like a
Yeah.
code word."
I was at a party and I was in the bathroom and a guy came in and tried to like hook up with me.
Nope.
And I was like, no. Plus I had a boyfriend who was outside.
But also, like,
People
not the
like
place.
to think
Yeah,
that
also,
you want to
like,
do
no.
things in the bathroom. Like, yes, the
Bro.
women's bathroom is nice, but I'm not trying to be in there.
Yeah.
That's
No.
so weird.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
this script, the conflicts in this script are so tight. Like everything is so
Yeah.
tied together. Like what Yousif was saying about like there's no prop wasted. Like everything leads to the next thing. It's really just an impressive. Like when I watched it the first time, I watched it the first time at AFF, and that was the first time I'd seen it. I hadn't seen a trailer. I knew that Simon Pegg was in it, and I like Simon Pegg. I had just seen In a World, which if you haven't seen that with Lake Bell,
In a
it's
World.
fantastic. It's about voiceover artists.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
Yeah.
great.
mhm.
And so I just kind of recently gotten into like Belle, and so I was like, okay, I'll go watch this. I love a rom-com. Tess Morris did the intro for the film before it started.
Wait.
Oh, nice.
We should
Yeah.
be drinking every time you say Tess Morris.
Oh my gosh.
Fair, that's fair.
I mean, it might be coffee, but hey.
Mm.
You'll get really hyper.
It's gonna be water. Everybody stay hydrated. Every
Yeah, there
time
you
MG says
Yeah.
Tess Morrison, everybody drink some water. Go ahead. We all
It's
need
totally
more water
fair.
in our
No,
lives.
I appreciate. I like that game.
4
We're gonna-
o'clock somewhere.
It's so true. But she introed the film, and she was so excited to be there, and was so giddy about this film, and I got really excited about it. I watched the film. She did a Q&A afterward. She was awesome, and I was just like, I'm gonna go to every panel she's on because she's just so entertaining. But that was the first time I'd seen it, and then I didn't get to see it beyond that because it didn't really get much of a release. It was on like the airplane, like you could watch it on an airplane, but it didn't get like a lot of theatrical release, which is why I talk about it so much, so that other people can hear about it, because no one knows about this film. So then this was like the second time that I'd watched it, was watching it before we did this, which at this point was like over a month ago now.
Wait, that was
I watched
only the second time you'd watched it?
That was only the second time I had watched it.
You had talked about it so much beforehand. I assumed you had seen it.
I had seen it once, and I was just like, this movie.
She was blown away, but she's got other movies to watch, so we don't got time to get caught up into favorites anymore.
Well, because I just was able to like replay it in my head. So like I had forgotten, or did not know who Phoebe Waller-Bridge was. So watching it this time, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and I paused it.
Who was that?
Like, oh my god,
Fleabag.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Oh, the sister.
Yeah, she played the sister.
She was at the party. She was at the party.
Yeah.
Right?
No, she was the sister.
That is not helpful. I can't even see her face in that. Oh, you're just talking about her name.
I thought she was the annoying woman at the party.
She's the annoying woman at the party.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was her sister.
No, her sister was
Harriet Walter Brand.
The other white lady, right?
No,
the other white British lady.
Gosh, so many of them.
Is Fran's sister?
Harriet Walter, I think, is the mom.
Oh, the mom. Okay.
Oh yeah, I totally recognized her
age-wise.
face.
Who plays the sister?
Sharon Horgan.
Sharon Horgan. Yeah.
I'm naming all the.
She's great. She's great.
She's a good actress.
I also love Olivia Williams, and in this one, she is. My introduction to Olivia Williams was as Miss Darling in Peter Pan.
Oh.
And she's so regal and gorgeous in that film. And in this one, she's not a nice character, and it was interesting to see her do more of a comedic role in this. But she plays the ex-wife.
Can we just go back to something that you two were talking about? So talking about the beginning and saying, like, I totally related to her as well, but I also didn't think she was nearly as much of a mess as you two seem to think she was. I just thought
I didn't think she was a mess,
normal. But like, this is normal. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why I was a little bit like, she didn't really have to. I mean, I liked the whole idea that she pretended to be the person she wasn't and going on the date and that, but I also didn't think she was actually nearly as desperate as or like needed as much of a turnaround as you two apparently thought
she was in denial. She was in denial about how desperate she
maybe I'm in denial too.
Yeah. It wasn't so much about like her specifically being a mess.
Where is Jimmy?
It was more of like in her brain, like her self-esteem was very low, and it was lowered by the people around her.
Yeah.
Kind of telling her basically that it should be low, and she kind of let that eat at her. It was more like an emotional mess than anything.
Yeah, I guess my thought was she should just tell them all to fuck off and
yeah.
But whatever, okay.
Yeah. But so I think what I like about that is that she's kind of at the beginning, she's very much. It seems like she doesn't want to listen to anything anyone's saying, but she's also listening to everything that everyone's saying, and that's why she's like, I'm going to be spontaneous and do this thing. And it winds up actually going well in the end. Like she goes off and she's having fun, and then she realizes that she's gonna, once she gets into that conflict at the bowling alley, that someone actually knows who she is, where she's gonna have to like deal with this. She's like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Don't think she did it initially for like fun. I think she was like to spite, right? Like
I think she's just like, I'll do something spontaneous. Yeah.
Well, I was like, I think she wanted to be like, oh, screw this 24-year-old woman who thinks she knows, and I'm gonna prove
her wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove her wrong in this stupid book.
I think all of that was combined together into her motivation. Totally. She wanted to get back at her, and she wanted to, actually change it up a bit. I get that. I get that.
She's layered. She's layered as a character, that's for sure. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, which is it's just definitely something I enjoyed about her a lot. You know, it's just like, yeah, I didn't think she was desperate or just like in a mess per se, but just like I just related to her, just her process, you know, just like I say, like that's me before I go every social situation, you know. So that's why I related to them and both characters. And it's also so funny too. Like honestly, speaking about the book, like I feel like Tess Morris has like this underlying theme about like how these like self-care books or whatever just like are like completely like bullshit, you know, just like you know, like because the book says like, oh, share this thing, or you know, talk about this thing, and you know, once you open these things you should guys be a match or whatever. But it's just like we see, you know, after obviously they fight and they kind of separate, and you know, Simon Pegg goes with the right lady that he's supposed to be with in the beginning, like there's nothing relatable about it, you know. It's just like
she uses books as like a plot device, really. Like either the conversation starter or and that's what the thing you were talking about with all the props and stuff. I actually had a problem with that part.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Even though the movie was like pointing out it's like how bullshit these things are, and it's like it's a lot better just to like meet someone and just be natural and get to know them like just through conversation, you know. So it's just like you don't need like a guy to tell you. Yeah, you know, go on adventures.
Are you really sure they got to know each other through conversation, or like?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it was more forced. I'm gonna use the word. It's forced. Everything to me in this movie was a bit forced to get to the next part. Like it didn't seem very natural, the progression of most of it. I don't know why he left his bag at the bar. Like it just seemed like a good reason to go back to the bar, surprisingly. Like everything was connected because it had to happen to get us to the next part, not naturally happening. The switching of the books, of course the books had to switch because they had to open the books to read what the other person wrote so that they could say, oh, emotions.
It is still a rom-com. There are certain cliche, you just have to go with it kind of moments that are gonna be
I'm
there.
an anime fan, so I'm like totally down for just going with it and suspension of disbelief. Yeah, people can destroy villains with one punch, but somebody leaving their bag at a bar really rubs me the wrong way. Like, I can't believe you left your bag. Like, I don't think.
You never left your bag at the bar? You never left?
No.
Wow.
No.
She got really upset at that. She was like,
no.
She
was like, I am defensive about this.
I mean, my
bag is my life. Like as a female, we carry everything in our bags. So if we lose our bags, our whole lives are like just completely wiped. All of your favorite things that you carry with you all the time are gone. And that's just, I'm an only child, so possessions are like a big thing for me. So when somebody leaves a possession, I'm like, what the fuck? You left your thing. You left your thing. Oh my God.
I'm just going to qualify that some females.
I was also going to say, how
That's
does
true.
being an
That's
only
100%
child
true.
like translate to that? Because I would think
a possession thing. Oh yeah, only
I would
child
think
are very
if you have
material.
Other siblings, you'd want to hold on to your stuff more.
No, because it's all my stuff, and I've never had to share unless I wanted to. Unless I wanted to, I didn't have to share anything. So it's all mine. And when you did share things with people, they broke it. I still remember.
Mara has been wounded.
Side story. Here's my wound, right? Here we go. I had just gotten chicken limbo, right? Do you guys know chicken limbo? With the little chicken at the top, and you go under, and if you hit the chicken, it goes quack, quack. Like it was cool, right?
Wait, is that a thing that like?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of this.
It was a toy I had as a child in the 90s called Chicken Limbo. Okay.
Chicken Limbo.
Nice.
I was having a birthday party. All my little cousins came over. We set up the Chicken Limbo, and it was going to be such a great time. And then my cousins, who we shall not talk about my relationship with them, decided that the game was better played if you took the poles apart and beat each other with them.
That's not the game.
And hence my Chicken Limbo was broken. And hence it was broken. So
I found the box art.
Yousif actually looked it up.
It's a bit like so many kid games. It's a bit awkward.
I
still remember it. And it's funny that I'm still holding on to that trauma. But it was several situations like that when you're like, here's my favorite thing in the world. I'm sharing it with you because you're cool and I care. Oh, you broke it.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at the box art. Oh, it's a singing chicken.
Yes.
I feel like we need that game now.
I mean,
but
I don't know. I don't think that's natural. I don't think the position that she's in under the limbo is natural.
Yeah. But
so that's my story. This is
look where her eyes are. You know, it's like
It also looks like they have to do the chicken dance before they go under. Is that part of the game?
No, but you can. You can do whatever you want before you go under.
I think I would be worried about the chicken laying an egg.
Oh, you're silly.
Oh, pooping on you because chickens poop a lot.
Yeah, they do. It was an interesting game, but I never got to play it.
Oh, God. But
it
just the way his legs are spread. Like the way the legs are spread is weird.
I like how none of us have heard of it at all.
And Mara's like, this was important to me.
This is a trauma. This is a childhood trauma. So a few things happen like that. But when you have
the box
siblings,
art should like give you trauma. Shit.
I was like, I'm gonna close that tab now.
But when you have siblings, you are used to people taking your things and breaking them. You're kind of desensitized to that happening all the freaking time. When you're an only child, you take care of your things. And so when people don't take care of theirs, you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I'd say as a person with siblings, quite the opposite.
They will break your things?
They definitely break things, but because, you know, I was forced to share things with people, I kind of want to take more possessive of my things, especially when I buy them myself.
That's what I would think.
So it's not an only child thing, Mara. And if anything, it's just as bad, if not worse, because I'm just like,
are you the oldest?
This is mine. I'm the middle child.
Oh, you're like my mom.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like,
problems,
nobody. Oh, thank you.
It's that good old middle child syndrome thing. Just like the only child syndrome or the oldest child syndrome. Like everybody's got problems no matter where you are in the years here.
That's true.
Yeah, everyone's got a syndrome.
Damn, that's
got a syndrome.
Yeah, everyone does. Anyways, back to the movie.
Back to the movie. So, because of those few little things, it was a little difficult for me to kind of go along with the whirlwind romance. I very much enjoyed all the running that they did.
I know, that was what about the swimming? Did you like the swimming? Because I loved that they were like, I'm actually going to run, bike, swim, and they actually did all the things. That was such a great sequence.
Yes.
100%. Both sequences with all the running really made this movie for me. And I know that is like crazy, spending like 2 hours watching a movie and the only scenes that you like are them running. But yes.
It's not crazy. It was so well done. It was because it was both cliche and new. Like the way that they did it, it matched what's supposed to happen in a rom-com, but it did it in a new way, which is what Tess Morris does so much in this.
Especially when like Simon Pegg was in the car or the taxi and she was like running, which is like, this is like the totally like not judgmentally thing to do. But he would be the asshole. Like, I'm gonna be in the taxi and say, I'm gonna run it. She's just like, fuck it. That
was the best, actually.
I feel like we went into a lot of bathrooms in this movie too. Like it seemed like every time I looked up in the middle, we were in a bathroom.
It's not a very common location to film in, that's for sure.
It was interesting. I mean, most of it was the girls' bathroom until that one time that she went into the men's bathroom. Busting open doors and stuff.
I mean, talk about like bending tropes.
That was believable for me. Like that part was actually believable for me.
When he's crying?
When he's crying in the toilet and she goes in and like opens it up to the wrong guy, and then the two guys are like listening to the story and they come over the top. I'm like, this is beautiful. I am very much entertained by it.
Yeah. Men don't cry enough in rom-coms, I'll just say it. And so I love that we get a crying scene in this one for Simon Pegg.
Yep. And it's funny because as a child, I bought into the whole, well, men are only like trying to play games and they're only interested in this until they're ready for marriage and stuff. So to see this guy like desperately clinging to a relationship and everything. I do wish that we would have seen more of that in mainstream movies.
Yeah,
because that would have changed my perspective on a lot of relationships with men. But that's okay. We won't go into that part. I already exposed enough trauma.
Yeah, like How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
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 I don't watch that one.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah,
I know
he's a bit of a
Like,
Ted
yes,
Mosby,
yes,
for
but
sure.
I've never watched it.
I know enough.
Same thing. I mean, the whole series is about the guy trying to like find the perfect woman,
Yeah.
you know, that fits his like criteria. So it's like I want to find the perfect woman, and so I can marry and have kids someday in the future. You know, that's like the whole plot
I love that
in
show.
a nutshell. Yeah.
It also has Allison Hannigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, Neil
And her
Patrick
husband
Harris.
is in it.
Anyways,
Actually.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Alexa.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about men.
Don't
Okay,
start me.
sorry.
Don't start me on anything that has anything
No.
to do with Buffy.
what I was gonna say. Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you the props, because I feel like it was natural. I mean, I already mentioned like how much I love the use of props and how one thing leads to another. Like I just thought it was just flowed correctly. You know, like I didn't realize there were kind of tropes until like after I was watching the movie and like kind of thinking about it. Like during the movie, like I didn't think about tropes. You know, like I wish I knew that I mean, yeah, of course, it's like, oh, they can have a meetup. It wasn't like, I guess it was kind of like a meet cute, you know, because like, you know, it was just like a cute moment, but they weren't arguing or fighting against each other. That didn't come till later, but like we still had a moment where just like, oh, they're gonna have to break up. Then they realize, oh, you know, she's the right one for me, and they gotta go on a whole chase.
All
You
in
know,
one
so-
night.
All in one night.
Yeah.
All in one night.
Yeah, the time frame of this movie.
So there's
bugged
those
me
kind of
too.
tropes. Yeah, I didn't like. I noticed the structures, but like in terms of props and stuff, like I didn't pay much attention because I feel like it was all done naturally. Like, the main reason why is just like because leaving the bag at the bar is all because like they were having this argument, you know, and it just like their minds are at somewhere else,
They're heated.
and so it's like, yeah, you know, he did. So it's just like,
And probably a little drunk.
Why did he
Yeah.
have such a big bag anyway? Why?
Because he was carrying the divorce papers in a book.
The bag was pretty big for that.
Yes, it
Because
was.
it needed to be that big for the movie.
hey,
He takes that on a
he can't-
date.
he was carrying a lot of baggage on him, man.
Yes, he
Oh.
was. Oh my God, emotional baggage. Yep.
Yeah, and
It's
once
a
he
metaphor.
took the divorce papers out, that's it.
It got lighter.
And it got
Ain't
light.
Teddy Smalls a
Actually,
genius?
did he even have the bag at the end when he was running?
Let go of it. He let go of
I don't know.
it.
I actually loved
You let
that it
go.
only took place in one night. Like, I'm surprised that bothered you.
It
Mara
bugged
has a
me
lot of
'cause
issue
it
with
didn't make
timeline.
sense. It didn't
Oh,
make sense.
why?
She got
Don't
okay. So
don't start
she
her
got,
on When Harry Met Sally. Don't start her on
No,
When
no,
Harry
no,
Met
no, 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 no.
I did not.
We're
I
sticking
did
with this
not.
movie. We're talking about
Yeah.
the time frame of this movie. When she got to the anniversary party, it was 10 p.m.
Okay.
They went
Lost Yousif.
through 3 bars, a bowling alley, several bathrooms, multiple car trips, running across the city, all before 10 a.m. or p.m. All before 10 p.m. And they
maybe-
met in the afternoon. They did not meet at 9 a.m. in the morning at the train station.
I mean, it's
No.
a compact.
They
it's
went
only-
from one thing to the next pretty quickly. They didn't like spend a lot of time at
Yeah.
each place.
London is a very compact city.
They
Yeah.
played
You
all-
could get anywhere.
But they played a whole game of bowling, right?
Bowling
Well,
doesn't
they
take that long.
Yeah,
One
bowling
game.
can
not
take a
long.
while. Bowling can take a while.
For 2 people?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're
Yeah,
having
I also felt like they
conversations
didn't
in the
really finish the
meantime.
game, so it's like,
We can
Again,
plot out exactly
you gotta
how they did
suspend
things.
some stuff and just let it be.
I mean, honestly, that was actually probably one of my favorite parts of the movie that only took place in one.
I mean, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy what happened
Yeah.
at these locations. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is that it should have been like midnight, almost 3 a.m. by the time they got to this
wait,
location.
did they actually say it was 10 p.m. or was there a
Yes,
clock? 'Cause
they said it
okay, I
was
don't
10
remember that.
p.m. I remember because I was like, what the fuck? I was so
the
mad.
thing The thing I will say is something I've noticed in movies recently that I've just kind of like been like, it's fine. There are a lot of movies where you have a character who has like a timeline and they say, we only have this much time to do this thing. But especially like in musicals, somehow they have time to sing a full romantic duet with this other person when they're like on this crunch time. So there's things, especially in rom-coms, where you just, in order to get those sweet scenes and those things that build the plot, you just have to kind of like just go with it from time to time to just because time is relative. And in this space, even though it looks like it's taking a long time, it could be a really short time, and vice versa.
I'm with Yousif, like, if you're in a major city like London, it's easy to get around. And
did you see how far she had to run for that bar to get back?
You mean swim?
Swim, run, hike, climb.
Sorry, when she's pushing those people out of the way, I was like, she is swimming, and I love it.
And the fact that it took him the same amount of time in a taxi to get there. No, these places were not close together, y'all. They were not.
If she had run more than
they are that close together.
If she had run more than a mile, she would have been more out of breath. Okay.
That's true.
Like they're in London,
she would have needed more than air freshener
walk.
for her pits than that.
Traffic is bad.
London's like a lot better to walk.
Yeah.
Than to drive all the time in London, like almost all the time. Like there's almost no reason to have a car in London.
Yeah.
Like.
And I believe you.
It's true.
I totally understand that aspect of it. I just think it took them longer than that.
New plan. We're all gonna go to London together, and then we're gonna recreate the
oh yes, we should reenact it. Yes. I like it.
Okay, I call the car.
Yes.
I call the car. Y'all can run. I call the car.
I didn't think that part out clearly, but yeah,
just like everybody gets the car.
Well, I mean, in terms of like having everything set in the same timeline and everything, in terms of relative, I mean, obviously it's a ticking clock. It's like, oh, I gotta do this, or whatever. But it kind of makes things, kind of upsets the tension. Like, I kind of understand the gripes. It's like, how could two people fall in love with each other within a span of a few hours? You know, how? But I mean, that's what movies are. You know, they're supposed to be hopeful. They're supposed to be feel good, go lucky, especially when it's a romance comedy. You know, so it's like, you know. It can't be a comedy if it ends in a tragedy. You know, that's the thing.
It's not love story.
Because, what you're looking for, Mara, is always like some kind of tragedy, some kind of drama. Because drama is anything that a comedy isn't. You know, so it's
I do like the darkness.
So the thing. So it is disbelievable because maybe, who knows? Maybe like 2 weeks after they got into a big fight and they broke up. You know, after this movie.
Very.
But
I'm not saying that part of it. Like, I'm cool with suspension of disbelief. I do musicals, I do anime. That's perfectly fine. But there's got to be some things that are grounded in realism. Like, did they ever pay for any of the activities that we saw them, or they just went in and went out? Nobody had to wait for their card. Nobody had to wait for the bartender to give them attention.
I find how Mara,
no one
really
cares about that part.
Dude, a movie is someone's life with all the boring parts taken out. You know, like nobody wants to see someone pain.
I don't want to.
But that could have totally been a moment for another conversation while they're waiting for the card, while they're doing this, while they're doing that.
Mara, write that scene. Write that scene.
The missing scenes of Man Up.
Well, here's the thing, because I think there are also scenes that we don't see in other things, like how we see the intro to her, because that's a really lengthy sequence of like her going through these mantras. Like, we don't need to see all of that. We could just see her appear at the thing, but we actually get to see her kind of get ready process before she gets downstairs, and that makes her more accessible and relatable to the audience. So that's a scene that you wouldn't necessarily see in other rom-coms. Other rom-coms would probably just start right at the party, because that's where all the action is happening. That's where you're getting those conflicts. So I do think that there are scenes like that included in this that aren't in other things.
I'm gonna bump you on the beginning there, the mantra things. I've seen that several times in movies where there's it's actually, I consider it a cheat, actually.
To start a movie, though?
To start a movie like that, to force a personal connection. Here's some mantras. I hope you relate to it. Okay, now we'll get into the actual movie.
Wow.
Okay.
But that's me. I'm hard on stuff, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm hard on stuff. No,
she's not wrong.
MG loves this movie.
you know, Woody Woody Allen did in Annie Hall, you know. So
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about
is-
Woody Allen on this.
No.
yeah, no, I'm just saying, Mara's right. So you know, he did that in that
I'm
movie.
right. I want to point.
The difference is,
It happens.
the difference is, I can relate to Nancy. I am Nancy. I am not Woody Allen. That's the difference.
I'm glad you're not Woody Allen, Yousif.
I am Nancy.
You wouldn't be on the show. Make a T-shirt. I am Nancy.
I try to act like Woody
And
Allen.
I would wear that shirt.
I just
That was a missed opportunity for the MG. Contact Tess Morrison and tell her, hey, you're supposed to make T-shirts. One of them is.
Need some merch, Tess.
Need some merch. What else?
one
I've
thing,
definitely said
one
Tess
thing
Morse like 4 other times and no one's drunk, just saying. And I said it again. Yeah, you're welcome. Keep going. Yes, Yousif?
my mug is empty now.
Mhm.
I really want to talk about that bar scene where he met his ex-wife.
Super weird. Did he tell them to come to that bar, or they came there?
They came
It's
there
their
because
place.
that was their bar. Yeah, it
It's
was
their
place.
place.
And they were supposed to have different times to show up. You know, like he
Mhm.
gets this
He
time and
gets
she
like
gets this
Monday,
time. But
Wednesday, and Friday, and she gets like
The details. The
so-
details in this thing.
yeah, so like he showed up on one of her days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's obviously he was there to like do whatever.
He's
he thought he
inviting
was
show
gonna
off
rub
his
that
new girlfriend.
24-year-old woman's name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like
in her face.
at this point in the movie, like he found out the truth about her, you know. So
Mhm.
it's just like, so his plan was like kind of ruined, but then when she shows up and it's just like, oh man, like it to me, like that moment like creates so much like breaking points. Like
Mhm.
Simon Pegg's character Jack was just like tearing apart at this moment, right? It's just like, here's this woman that I absolutely love, that I still want to be with, but then here's this other woman that I thought was my blind date. Turns out she wasn't. Yeah, it turns out she was a stranger. You know, I'm not supposed to be with this person. I mean, he was in like at this moment, like you could tell, like he's like breaking apart. You know, it's like
Yep.
what to do. But then like what I love
What
most
to
about like
do?
Nancy's character, how she just like, I'm just gonna roll with this.
She
You
goes
know,
with it.
like.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with it, and which is something I also love. Once again, this is why I relate to Nancy a lot, because like I know I'd be kind of person in that situation where it's just like, wait a minute, like okay, like this is weird, this is awkward, but here's this person, and you need my help to like ruin this person's life. That's so fucking petty. Let's do it. You know,
Yeah.
how can I make things, you know, even worse, even weirder, you know, and all that stuff. And you know, then we also get that bathroom scene in that same moment as well, and then like that also like helped made their relationship stronger.
Mhm.
Is just like we get so much out of Simon Pegg's character, you know, we get so much about his background and what kind of person he is, and it's just like, God, now I know why he's so socially awkward. That's why he was
Mhm.
kind of like excited, because he's like, you know, taking another step in his life, but at the same time he's just like, I gotta go through this divorce at the same time. So I'm just like, he's just like, you know, all butterflies, and then
And it's all
after that moment,
it's all
He's
through
a
the
mess.
action of the scene too. Like it's not like we get
Yeah.
all this like expository information dump in that scene. It's just it's very natural in the way that they're interacting and the way that he's kind of handling the situation. And you're seeing,
yeah,
because you've kind of seen that Nancy is not in her best light right now, but now you're seeing that he's actually orchestrated this whole thing so that he can get back at his ex-wife. And so there's this moment where he's like, he could decide to just go through with it, or he could decide to like, maybe this is not the right time for it, and he goes through with it, and Nancy goes through with it, and they both kind of in the same moment are horrible people doing this thing
Yeah.
to these people.
Disgustingly
And-
desperate people. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Weirdly, that's where I started to like him.
Exactly,
that, I
because
was
you're
like-
like, oh, he's flawed too. Like she's not
Yeah.
perfect, and she's done
Now
this to
I-
him,
Yeah.
but he's also got some things going on that he hasn't told her about. And so you don't even have any time to breathe in between realizing the twist before the next conflict comes up. And again, that's why it's like
Yeah.
so tight, because it just flows right into the next thing. It's like we don't even have enough time to process that I feel betrayed by this, because I'm also doing this thing over here and I need you to help me with this. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
this whole
and honestly, like I just going back to like social awkwardness, like I feel like Nancy just kind of went along just so it would delay her time of getting back to her like parents' anniversary party, you know, just like I kind of want to avoid my family, I kind of want to avoid this social group, so if I use him as an excuse to avoid people try to call me, text me, and she could just be like, oh, I was busy helping this guy or whatever, you know. It's just like,
you told me to be
it's just great.
spontaneous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, oh Lord, where did it go? Oh my God, it was a good thing. I was really gonna compliment it. Oh, what were we just talking about? It was about Nancy. And I was I remembered. Okay, so all throughout the movie, Nancy was very vocal and boisterous about what other people need to do, right? That's her whole thing. But the part that really got me was at the end where they're walking through the train station right before they split up, and she kind of whispers that line, I don't know if you want to come to this anniversary party with me. And I was like, this whole movie, she has been so present and active and pushing. And now in this moment of vulnerability, of actually like trusting this other person rather than just like fighting them the whole time, she was so quiet. And I thought that was the most beautiful part of the movie for me, was that one little line there.
And because she's kind of having to put something on the rest of the movie, like she's being someone else, she's not being herself, she's told not to be herself basically by everybody. And so this is kind of the first time that you are really getting to see her come through and actually ask for something like that. And she doesn't even really ask for it, she just sort of is like, I'm putting this out there and we'll see what happens. But yeah,
I also really tripped up on the fact that it was her parents' anniversary party, and that was the day that she decided she was going to do things. And I'm like, why weren't you there to help set up your parents' anniversary party? Like, there's napkins and trash and all these things that need to happen when you make a party, and you're just like, I'm gonna come when I come and do a speech. Like,
because she's that person in the family.
She's that
person.
Yep. And maybe that's why I had such a hard time connecting to these people, is because I'm a very empathetic person. So when there are selfish people doing selfish things, it really does not hit me very easily.
There are selfish people in the world, Mara.
I know, I get that. It's not the way it should be, but that's the way it is.
But like, part of her being selfish is also that she has to kind of live up to the fact that her parents have been together for all that time through that whole thing, and she doesn't have that and might not get that. So part of it is like asshole. Underlying sadness. Yeah, but was she an asshole first?
No, she was an asshole first.
Was it that she grew up thinking that she was going to find this and then she didn't?
And she's bitter about it.
I'll make an argument.
Sister, I'm pretty sure she was an asshole the whole time.
Well,
I'll make an argument, and I'm sure some people on the other side of the pond is going to hate me for saying this, but she's a very British person.
How good is Lake Bell's accent in this, by the way? Because she's not British, and I think she is fantastic with a British accent in this.
This movie, it seemed very British to me too.
Absolutely British.
Because honestly, like, I know a few British people, stuff, and so like, I would believe, I would believe she, like, a British person, that's like a British thing to do, just like not get involved with like a family stuff or whatever, because it's just like they just over exaggerate things or try to avoid social situations or whatever. Because I watched,
maybe it is an American thing.
I watched this thing called Very British Problems. It's a comedy, but it's really like each episode is just like focusing on it. But like one thing they keep on reiterating is just like Britain is such a small place with so many people. So it's like you're always going to be bumping to people or interacting with them, and you always got to be like kind of nice or whatever, like in a sociable way. It kind of becomes a headache, that's why the British people kind of the way they are, where they try to like avoid things and like
standoffish.
They're standoffish, just like, oh well, I just got, maybe I don't know, it's like they're just going to go this long thing. And this one British comedian on it, she was just like, her best friends are the ones that always cancel things on her, because like now she doesn't have to like worry about
it's such an introvert thing too, though.
I know.
You're like, oh no, you can't do it. Darn. I mean, we've all been there too. We've all been like, oh, we can't do it today. Oh well.
Well. Oh,
are you guys okay postponing? Sure.
And you know,
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm 100% cool with that. The part that sucks is when you're actually dressed and out waiting for somebody and they're like,
That's true.
I can't make it. And you're like, but I'm already here and you've gotten me out of my house.
Yeah.
And put on
yeah.
nice clothes and
Yeah.
take a shower and shit.
That sucks.
But with the movie though, it was like, I think everyone like knows, the family knows what kind of person she is, and they still want her to get involved, which is why they only gave her the responsibility of the speech, while the other family kind of handles everything else. Because it's just like, they probably feel like, oh, if she's, because I maybe it wasn't mentioned in the movie, but I just got this feeling, or maybe just me being, you know, having a dysfunctional family myself and knowing how each person can handle responsibilities and
Projecting some
things.
stuff there, Yousif.
You don't actually have
it's
to
like-
answer that.
I mean, we all do it.
It's my
Mm.
it's my eyebrows. But I just maybe it's just heavily implied, or maybe just me, but it's just like, I just feel like they know that she can only handle certain things, because if they give her responsibility for other things, it could ruin things. So it's like, her one job to make this anniversary go well is to just show up, give the speech, and do whatever she wants, you know.
And bring
that's
the
like,
moose. No, she needed the moose.
But that's
oh yeah,
you
the
know,
moose.
That's true. Like, your family, you all settle into these roles and you kind of get stuck in them.
Yeah.
So, and especially like if you're the one that's like her, they never think you're gonna.
If you're the Nancy.
I'm not projecting anything at all, but they never think you're gonna
But-
accomplish anything. Or
But going to the
I'm
same
not
point in
the
the
Nancy, I'm
beginning,
the
or-
sister.
But kind of same points, like everyone like put her in this box, you know, like everyone.
yeah,
It's not like she is in that box, but like everyone tells her that she is, therefore she thinks she is, you know.
Yes.
So it's like,
yeah,
that's and that kind of relates to the whole theme of the movie. And it wasn't until the end, you know, like, you know, they were afraid she was gonna ruin the party, but she just ends up like, you know, still breaking down and just like, you know, became even a greater mess. But then everyone's just like, oh, I don't know, you were going through all this stuff or whatever. It's just like, it's also a family thing, you know, when you have a huge family, it's just like, oh, I know you. It's like, yeah, what? So I feel like, once again, it's like, I just feel like it's so real, and I just enjoyed it a lot, especially at the end where like Simon Pegg was just like, I gotta find her, I gotta,
That ending was so
you know,
great.
go find her. Then they took her to the wrong party, and just so coincidentally, like the kid she was babysitting just know where she is, and like the entire frat party just like all just
Everybody.
ran with him.
That
Just
was the
everyone
best.
just ran
Such a
with
great
him.
scene.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
it
God.
was like another great. It's like another trope, you know. It's definitely
Yeah.
a trope, but it was just they take it to like a different direction, a different way. It's
Tess
just like
Morris.
that's where the comedy parts.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's where like her comedy uniqueness comes in. It's just like
Yes.
it got so ridiculous. It just got so funny. They all just started running, and they just show up,
The
and he
whole
gives his
ending of that
confession,
movie
and
was golden. Like,
'Cause it's
since
like- 'cause-
he meets up with the girl that told Chunk all the way to the end was amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's what it's showing is that because Tess Morris is such a rom-com lover, she knows all of these tropes, she knows what's cliche, she knows what works, she knows what doesn't. And so she has crafted a rom-com that matches you're welcome. That matches and subverts all the things that it's supposed to. So that's why it feels so good and it feels so authentic compared to some of the other ones out there, because she's like, you're gonna recognize some things in this because this is a rom-com and there's certain things that have to happen in a rom-com, but I'm gonna do something slightly different with it so that it feels new and original and feels more
Entertaining.
real. And it's very entertaining. Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air with a genre that tends to get a little bit cliche from time to time. I will admit that. I love rom-coms, but they are cliche in a lot of ways. And so I love a rom-com that kind of subverts all that stuff.
Something we do have to touch on. No minorities in this film whatsoever.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true.
I don't think I saw
Yeah.
any at the party. I didn't see it at the bar. I didn't see it at the bowling alley. Just
Yeah.
no
Can I just
minorities
tell
at
you-
all.
Yesterday I went on this weird deep dive into Alex Haley, which he wrote Roots, everybody.
Roots, yeah.
Mhm.
So
I'm like, what?
I-
Roots?
wait, okay, follow me here.
I got
The reason I'm bringing this up is because he apparently did an interview with Miles Davis in 1962 for Playboy magazine. It was the first interview that magazine ever had. And I read it, and it's funny because Miles Davis was actually talking about movies and talking about how the world is not all white or all, and I was like, this fucker was talking about this in 1962 and it's still happening. And it's crazy. And he was talking about how,
if you want to say it was from the get-go where Black people couldn't even be on stage or on film. Like, it was white people dressed as Black people before.
Right, I'll send you this article because it's like a lot. I mean, some of the language he uses is kind of dated, but it's like, it's so funny because I was talking to Jimmy about it. I'm like, so that means we've been talking about this for this long, and we're still having movies. And one of the things he said is, the reason why it's so important to me is because when I toured the world, I went to Germany, and people like had only seen Black people in American movies that were like slaves or maids, or
blackface,
and they like basically said that to me. So he's like, that's why it's so important.
You want to know something fun?
Yeah.
Is it fun or is it not fun?
You know, I think it's kind of both.
Go on.
I think it's kind of okay. One of the few Black movies that have actually made it to China was one of the Medea movies.
Oh,
Medea
that is funny.
Jail, Medea does this. Those made it over to China.
That is so funny. I wonder why, of all of the movies.
Because it's China.
I don't know. Out of all the movies, though, why that way? Like, I don't
know.
China. So yes,
it's a guy. It's a man dressed in a fat suit, you know, and they laugh at that kind of thing.
There's this Family Guy joke that's talking about being the only Black guy in Norway, and it's got this whole group of white people watching this one Black guy. He's got like a newspaper and a nice cup of coffee. He takes a sip of the coffee and they go, "Ooh, Black and sipping. Oh, Black and sipping."
I remember that scene.
Wow.
So unfortunately, this movie gets a negative mark because there are no minorities in it. They didn't even ask any minority direction in the city. Nothing like that. And I don't even think the taxi cab driver was a minority.
And London is definitely diverse.
Like, definitely.
Yeah. We just talked about how small it was.
Yeah.
And they were in a hip part with a whole bunch of bars. That's their favorite bar, and there's no minorities there.
It did seem like it was
Studio Canal.
It did seem like it was in a bubble. Like the movie, like it seemed like it was in a little
their
bubble.
World.
Yeah.
We'll call it the Tim Burton effect. Let's coin it right now and embarrass the shit out of him. So we'll call it the Tim Burton effect, where nobody exists outside of this world.
Yeah, because there wasn't even really people on the screen or anything. It wasn't like
no, nobody but white British people throughout this entire movie.
Oh. Interesting.
Yousif's
okay. Well, no, I was kind of curious. Okay, so like, I know there's a law. Well, I would say law, but since like in the UK, so many like film and television is funded by the government. Therefore, it's kind of like law to have diverse people in it. So that's so it
like a quota that you have to hit.
Yeah, compared to America, where it's just like, oh, everything's privatized. Therefore, it's because of the First Amendment. Like, so you could say everything is made as an expression of the filmmakers, you know? So it's like, if it was all white people in America, it's because that's the way the person wanted to express it. So since the government always funds movies, you know, therefore they have to have diverse people. So like Studio Canal produced it with BBC Films. So, and they're both British companies.
That have had minorities.
It's kind of weird.
Things. Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah,
I was
no,
really
they have.
surprised. I was like, I know this is indie, but come on, isn't that more of a reason for there to be minorities and a minority with at least a speaking role?
Yeah.
We can't even get a what time is it? Get any of that.
Hey,
oh man.
Oh man.
I mean, anything.
So,
I would also establish the timeline better for you, Mara, right? You want that line so that you can be like, hey, what time is it? That's why you want that to be the line.
I have to go to my parents' anniversary. What time is it? Jesus.
They're never looking at their time.
Can you give us the bill, sir? Yeah, sure. I'll give you your card right away. Are you closing out your tab? Anything. So, I had something good to say though. Other than that, I got distracted by my frustration.
As usual.
Oh yes, no, it actually was not a compliment. It was another suspension of disbelief.
I'm so
moment.
surprised.
They drank so much damn alcohol in these 5 hours that they were out and about. I mean, I understand that she ran a fucking marathon.
She did.
And it burnt off a little of the alcohol. But they continued to take shots, continued to drink beer. Like, these people should have been crashing into walls, like the majority of this movie. And they did not. They drank pretty heavy in the beginning. When they first got to that bar, it was drink after drink after drink.
I mean, they drink a lot in London.
They do.
In their bubble.
True. They do.
In the bubble.
They do.
A high tolerance. Is their liver also part of the bubble?
But also, like, I mean, maybe that explains why he left the bag, because he was a little bit drunk.
That's what I said. A little bit drunk. A lot of bit drunk.
He was getting there. So yeah.
He drank so much in this movie. And then he chugged that British beer with the girl.
That's all they do.
Man, but regardless of everything that I did not like, I did enjoy this movie. This movie was great, mostly because of the running scenes, but I did like their conversation. I did like the tone of their jokes. Their approach to comedy in this was very awesome. Very awesome. Some of the things they said, I was like blushing like the whole time. Like I'm not even one of those type of girls. Like I'm usually like a down for it type of girl. But they were like, oh, it's the blowjob connection.
Oh my. Maybe that's very uncouth of them to say such a thing.
Oh my gosh, it clutched my pearls and give him a blowjob, just dropped down into a blowjob, and I was like, oh my god.
Such a thing should not be said over the monitor.
Rude.
Oh.
Yeah, but I very much appreciated it because I'm not one of those people. I can't write lines like that. Those things make me uncomfortable, just like awkward humor makes me uncomfortable. There was a lot of awkward humor in this, but not the way that rubs me too wrong. Like I didn't have to turn away except at the bowling alley scene.
That's
I
fair.
had to turn away for that one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I watched it with my mom this second time, and
that's unpleasant.
I regretted that decision pretty quickly. As soon as Rory Kinnear came on screen, I was just like, oh no. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, this is gonna be bad, and I'm sorry. We're gonna get through it. She did not appreciate it.
Can I tell you a funny story? My friend was watching a movie with her mom and didn't realize there was a oral sex scene. And in the oral sex scene, her mom was like, people don't really do that.
She spoke during the scene.
About her own personal experiences and not exploring things. Now that is awkward. Now, I might have to cut this out. But the other day, my mom started asking me how to purchase like porn on YouTube TV and the other things. And I had to explain to her, and this is the worst part because, all this comes from experience, right? So you have to say, no, you don't have to pay for porn anymore. It's free. And there's free websites. Here's the websites. But you also need to know how to navigate the website. So she was like, we couldn't find anything. It was just like all like videos of white girls and we weren't looking for that. And I was like, well, did you click on the categories? And she was like, categories? And so then I had to like show her the categories and she started reading through some of them. And she was like, what the hell is this? And what is this? And I'm like, well, mother, this is when you do this. And
no, you did not explain it.
She's a mother. By the way, what a good daughter.
This is how you do this. That when you click on this video, an advertisement is going to pop up. You have to close out that advertisement because I mean, it's basically a virus. So make sure you close that advertisement when you click on it.
I'm going to tell you, I would probably move away immediately if I had that conversation with my mom.
I mean, but she needed to know if you're going to go into the porn world, you need to know how to access porn. And unfortunately, apparently I'm an expert on it. So it was very uncomfortable. And I think they kind of gave up after they couldn't figure it out.
Every time you say they or we, I'm like, oh no.
And you know what? I don't really want to know what category they were looking for. I just want to be like, this is what you click on for category.
A little bit worse that it was they instead of just mom alone.
What did she ask me what it was? I think she asked me what a blow bang was. And I was like, oh, mom. Well.
Oh, no. No.
Did you,
Did I explain it? Yes, I did.
Plugging my ears.
I explained it. So yes, there are more awkward things that you can watch with your mother than this. So don't feel bad, MG. There's plenty of rabbit holes you can go down.
Yeah,
I was just like, I had forgotten about that scene. I think I had blocked that character and that storyline about it out of it because I love this movie. I've talked to so many people about this movie, and so I was so excited to show it with my mom. And I was just like, I think I blocked that part
I bet
out,
they all think this is your favorite. That was your favorite scene. You're like, that MG. She always talked about how she loved that actor.
She talks about this movie all the time, so this must be what she was talking about.
Pauses a movie. So MG, do you like it when that happens in the bathroom? It's like, is that something you want to talk about, MG? No, mom, play.
Well, you
can
we
don't
always
have
tell
conversations during those scenes. That's not what happens.
Everybody sits there awkwardly.
It's not as bad as seeing Gone Girl with my mother. That was the worst that I've had. Yeah, that was the worst. And yet I still keep watching things. I generally don't watch things with her if I haven't seen it before at this point, because I've had too many experiences where there's a scene that I didn't know was coming up and then it gets awkward. So MG, I've got to kind of.
You haven't seen Game of Thrones, have you?
I'm definitely not watching that with my mother.
No, don't watch it with your mother, but you need to see it.
My mom would not like Game of Thrones.
She neither would mine. She'll probably fall asleep, but I want her to because there are good things in it. You just got to get past all the sex and the gore in the beginning,
the violence, and
the rape and the pillaging,
the sex and the violence.
All of the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, in the first 3 seasons at least. After you get past that, you're good. But
anyway,
have you there's SNL. No, maybe it was Mad TV. There was a skit where it's just like, Sopranos on like public television, and it was just like them cutting off all the parts. So it's just so like Johnny Soprano is just like, look, I tell you what. Then cuts to like him and his dad said like, was talking to a woman. Then the woman like right before she like went over his lap and cut to like him talking to another person for 5 seconds. Then cut to and it was like end. So it was like
it's like a 3-minute.
That's the whole episode.
Yeah, the whole episode. So I just thought that with Game of Thrones, it's just like, oh, you can watch it with your mom. She's just gonna only see 3 minutes per episode. So
it was funny that you mentioned SNL because there was a whole sketch on SNL that they did when Melissa McCarthy hosted. One of the times she hosted, that it was like her and maybe Bobby Moynihan or something, and then Pete Davidson was their son, and they were all watching The Terminator. And there's apparently a sex scene in The Terminator, and they were watching, so they were all like enjoying it, and then all of a sudden the music like changes and it turns into this scene on the scene, and so you're just watching them all just be like, oh, okay. And they did this really smart thing in the sketch where they cut to each character, they did a close-up, and they had voiceover of what's going through their head the whole time.
I remember that.
Pete Davidson was just like, I did not remember there was a sex scene in The Terminator, and they cut over to like Melissa McCarthy, and she's just like, she's something about like the actress and like the way that she's moving and how does she do that or something, and then the dad's just like he's like thinking about like a baseball game or something in his head during it or something. It's like each one of them is like something completely different, and then it'll cut back to the 3 of them watching, and they'll like try to talk over it like so how's school, and just like try not or at one point they're just like, like Melissa McCarthy's character is just like, I should say something to try to break the tension, and then she says something about, you know, like each one of them is trying to like figure out how to behave in this moment in their heads, and Pete at one point says something that's like really inappropriate about like, hey, do you guys ever do that? And you're just like, why did I ask that question? I don't want to know the answer. And it's the most hilarious awkward scene. They did a really good job with the sketch. It's great. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, there wasn't actually a lot of sex in this movie, which is really interesting.
No, there wasn't. Yeah.
Actually, in romantic comedies, they usually don't spend a lot of time on actual sex.
Not so much. I mean, they do pillow talk sometimes. Like sometimes like sex is implied because of pillow talk and things like that.
Pillow talk, and I was like,
what?
You don't like the pillow talk? You just get the job done and just take a nap.
Get the job done and turn on the TV. Matter of fact, don't turn the TV off. Let's just watch the TV. Netflix and chill. Anyway, pillow talk. Yeah.
Yeah, it tends to be more about romance and courting and maybe some kissing at the end. Like that tends to be what the rom-com sort of trope is these days.
So funny.
Yeah. It's more about the journey.
It's more
not the love.
And then the hardcore stuff.
Not the love making.
For that.
Yeah. We just hope they get married and they make lots of babies.
They just kind of pop out of nowhere.
You know, just lay back and just go poo 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 poo.
So to focus our conversation again, so as we are writing romantic comedies in our scripts, something that I usually have a lot of trouble with, and MG, you can feel free to take over this area of the discussion.
No, that's okay.
These conversations that draw them to each other, that draw them to each other, it's always a little difficult how to start those. It's always a little awkward because you get to the end of your little like dialogue section and you're like, why is this just not as sparking as I thought it was going to be? It's just very blah, very dry. How would you guys say they went around that?
I'm going to give you the answer that you don't want, which is it takes time and it takes practice and it takes really getting to know your characters. Like you're not going to get there on the first or even maybe the fifth pass at writing that scene. You really have to spend time making these people real in your own head and on the page before you can understand how they're going to connect. Like they have to become real characters. They have to, especially in a rom-com, especially in something that's about relationships, those characters have to come to life. Those characters have to be speaking to you. You can't be speaking for them. You have to get to the point where you know your characters so well, which is why I'm just going to be promoting all of my little things up here.
That's okay.
This is why I love this thing right here, because this has this whole section here that is called core questions. And it's all these questions you need to know to answer about your character. This gets you in touch with who your character is. And not just your main character, but your antagonist, your side characters, whoever you want to do this kind of thing for. Answer those questions and you'll get to know your character so well that they will be able to drive the action in the story and you'll be able to have them talk to you. So the key is character on especially these kind of things, but any relationship and anything, but especially a relationship-based movie, which is what a rom-com is. Those characters have to be real. Otherwise, it's just going to be words on a page. So.
I also think you have to be willing to go there. Like, I know that probably for me and maybe Mara, it's kind of like
partner.
It's not the kind of stuff I would normally write. Yeah. So, yeah, and it's like it's hard to think of doing it without sounding corny. So. Or feeling like you're corny. And maybe that's just me, but yeah, I think you just have to be willing to go there. And
I mean, you definitely, it's easier if you like rom-coms. And so, because I've written one so far. I wrote one at Stevens. I did a rom-com as one of my screenplays.
Read that rom-com.
It was the first.
Any of her stuff.
That's very true. Yeah. It was the first semester The first year with Cindy McCreary. She was fantastic, and I decided I wanted to do a rom-com because I was like, this will be easy, because rom-coms are easy. That's literally like my reason. And I also love rom-coms, and I was like, I want to write a rom-com. And the thing about that is you've got two characters that you want to get together. Like the goal of a rom-com is the creation of the couple. I think that's sort of the known trope. But they can't just, you can't be rooting for them to get together because that's the goal of the rom-com. There has to be something about these two characters that clicks. That's like why they should be together. Why do we want to root for this couple? And I thought that creating the like conflict, the central conflict in the story was enough to drive those two characters together, because you're like, oh, they have to be together because they don't get along. And that's why they have to be together, because that's like that trope in rom-coms, is that like, oh, opposites attract, right? Yeah. And I kept getting notes from Cindy that really helped me like center myself in the story, that were just like, why are we rooting for this couple to be together? Like, what is it about these characters? What you have to write that scene that connects them, where you get to see a little bit, the audience sees it even before the character does, why these two are a match. You know, what it is about these characters that they don't even know that they're a match. That's that connecting moment. Nora Ephron is really good at establishing those. Nora Ephron's movies are their own world in a way, and in the similar to the Tim Burton thing you were talking about, but I think in a better way, because but it's in a better way because it feels real. Like, it feels like a real world with all these little things populated, and it's a little perfect, but it also feels like you could go down to the store and talk to this person and they have their own story going on. Nora Ephron does that. Gary Marshall does that really well, where he creates these little units where like everybody has their own things going on in the story. And so you can have those little scenes that show something about the character before the other character realizes that it's something that's actually perfect, that matches them in a way that maybe is unexpected, but in a way that's really important. So
do you think you have to be a romantic to write a romantic comedy? Because
I mean, you gotta believe in romance, right?
I think it makes it easier.
Worked for me.
I think it makes it easier when you get to those moments where you're like, oh, this is corny. Because if you can kind of like the corny, like if you like, I got to these moments sometimes where I was writing something and I wrote out this dialogue and I would write this exchange and I come up with like, the character would start talking to me and I would get that answer from the character to a question another character had asked, and I was like, oh, that's good. Like, I was like, oh, that's cute. Okay, I like that. Like, I was like, it's a little corny, but this is a rom-com, so it's okay.
Cheesy on your nachos. I got you.
Exactly, but then it feels good. It feels like, oh, I'm in it. I'm in the genre that I'm supposed to be in. I've done the thing that I'm supposed to do, and not exactly in the way that everybody else is doing it. You know, if you can find a way to put your own voice into that and have it be the kind of joke that you would tell rather than it just being something that you've heard in another rom-com, then that can make it better. And I think there's a lot of that in this movie too.
One thing I want to add in terms of like dialogue is, you know, when they always have to give that speech about like, you know, why you're the right person for me or whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's a moment of vulnerability for that character, you know?
Absolutely.
So you gotta like put yourself into that character and think about like, you know, that person you loved, you know, or that person, you know, why you like that person. So you gotta like really open up the heart and, you know, express that thing of like, you know, this is everything I want to say to you, but I can't because, you know, whatever XYZ reasons. But it's like on the page, it's like this is me expressing the feelings. This is me opening my heart to the person that I'm either in love with or want to be in love with or stuff like that. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah.
And that's, you know, that's why writing is hard in general, because I think the most authentic moments come from those things that like are things that you would want to say to somebody in your own life. And you're sort of like, you're like writing it on the page and it feels really cathartic. And then you're like, oh, this could be on screen someday. Someone's actually going to see this. And are they going to know that because I'm the one who wrote it, like, this is what I want to say to this person. And maybe that's a good thing and maybe it's a bad thing. And then it maybe makes you not want to be so real. And you're kind of like, maybe I'll scale it back. Maybe I'll go back. But it's better when it actually hits like your heart and is saying something very, very true. Like those are the moments that resonate with people. So
I'm getting a little anxiety because I'm like, oh, I have to pour my whole heart.
Your whole heart, not half your heart, your whole heart. And then be
dark
prepared
heart.
for people to judge you on it too.
Oh,
Yeah.
because like that's the thing. It's like rom-coms, they get flack for these really sincere moments. You know, it's like it's too much, it's going too far, but it's like everybody's
I
felt
gave
that.
them flack for not being realistic.
But they get flack, but people watch them all the like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
they're enjoyable.
Because people never felt love like those characters do.
So true.
And so when that moment was talking, that's why they gave him flack, because like, I don't believe this. In fact, you haven't been in love, person. So you find the person you love and you feel those same feelings.
Oh man.
There you go.
It's rough. It's a rough balance. It really is to figure out how to tell people in a new way, how to be realistic towards an approach to romance. Like, just, it's rough. I understand how difficult this genre is, because it is really easy for people to be like, no, I'm not gonna go see that. So
I'm the opposite. Like if there's a new rom-com out, I will probably go watch it because I just love a rom-com. So I'm like I will watch it.
Yeah.
I want to say in the Black film series that I'm doing, the most recent one that I picked was Brown Sugar. I'm actually like the subgenre right now. Yes.
Brown
The subgenre
sugar.
right now is Black love, and so I'm just watching all these great love stories, and it's wonderful.
Why contact me?
It's on Facebook, Mara.
But
We could watch that
watch
for
them
this.
with me.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I just want to talk about, has everybody seen Brown Sugar?
Yes.
I was a child though when I saw it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay, it is great. Definitely worth a rewatch. I mean, Sanaa Lathan.
If
I
it came
will
out
watch
before I
anything.
was born, and it doesn't involve,
It did not come out,
no.
but it came out in
swords,
2002.
lasers.
You are
Right.
no. It
Oh.
came out in 2002. Don't even start there.
Millennial movie.
It's Sanaa Lathan and Taye Diggs, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful.
Oh,
in
2002?
everything. 2002. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's when the best love movie ever came out. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Is that the one
As a
Star Wars
writer-
movie I saw?
As a writer, I cannot take you seriously anymore, Yousif, because the writing in that movie, you know
Come
exactly
on.
which scene I'm talking about.
Come
of
on,
how
the moment
horrible
when he
the
was like
dialogue
touching
is.
her, the moment he was touching her back, that was such a lovely moment.
Oh my god.
That was the greatest love moment.
Okay, don't get me off track, because I'm talking about Brown
Can't
Sugar.
even say it with a
which is
straight
actually
face.
a good movie. Brown Sugar was Sanaa Lathan, Taye Diggs, and it's about it's a similar kind of setup, which is also Sanaa Lathan, to Love and Basketball, where it's these two people who met when they were kids, and kind of we get to watch them kind of go through life, and it's more of like they meet when they're kids, and then we see them when they're adults, and they're best friends, but they've never done anything. They've never gone into like the romance territory, but of course that's where you're thinking everything's going to go, because that's what it's a rom-com, so of course that's what's going to happen. But what I love about both Love and Basketball and Brown Sugar is there's this sort of motif of something else that both the characters have a passion for, that drives them, and that shows why they're connected. It's that thing, it's that extra thing that shows why they're a match. So in Love and Basketball, it's literally basketball. It's love for basketball and passion for basketball and that. And in Brown Sugar, it's hip hop. And there are the narration, Mara, when you rewatch this film, you're gonna love it, because the narration in this thing, I want to read this book, this fictional book that this person is writing in this story, because she's writing this book that's like a love letter to hip hop. And so throughout the movie, you're getting narration from Sanaa Lathan's character that's just like what she's writing in the book about how hip hop has evolved, how long she's loved it, all this kind of stuff. And very early on, you can tell that this is like a metaphor for her love for Taye Diggs' character. And so when she's talking about, oh, hip hop always did this for me, and hip hop this, and this.
Yeah, I remember
and
it
it's
now.
so it's so poetic, like the way that she writes. I know Sanaa Lathan is not writing it, but the writing in this is so poetic. It just makes you it makes you fall in love with hip hop and with them as a couple, and like how close their bond is. And it's so easy to root for these characters to get together just because of that. But I love that metaphor. So when a rom-com can take it a step further than just being about the couple, when there can be something that like bonds the couple in a way outside of it that can also wind up being that metaphor for their own relationship, that just takes it to another level. And that kind of thing is so cool to me. So I want to talk about that because I just was watching Brown Sugar like a couple weeks ago for this series, and it's pertinent to what we're talking about here. So
it's one of those movies that are so good that it's kind of like a classic Black movie, but nobody watches it because there are other classic Black movies that people like to watch more.
Oh, really? Okay.
I would say people probably watch Love and Basketball more than they watch Brown Sugar.
That is right.
But I included both in my series because why not?
Which is wonderful. And see,
why not?
And look, you touched something that you would have never touched on before if you had just like followed one of those random lists online, because Brown Sugar might show up, but it's usually like hidden in the middle.
Do you want to know how I happened on Brown Sugar? Because it was completely I was watching TV and it came on. And I had never heard of it before.
Oh.
And I was like, I like
We're gonna
I
work
like
our
this
way
cast.
there, MG. It was on my list of things for us to watch.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, yay.
It's one
I
of
would
the
definitely
few
watch it
romantic comedies I like.
But here's the thing, and I get why, because it's good. And I'm not surprised you like it, because I watched this movie and I'm like, this is a rom-com that Mara would enjoy. Like, I can tell, because it goes a step
work.
beyond.
It's about work.
It's also
and
about
love.
work.
I also like the idea that they're not
And love.
that they're like not just setting out for romance. Like
No,
they had lives and they were friends.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this one also, in the same way that Tess Morris, nobody? Okay. That Tess Morris subverts some of the rom-com tropes in this, it subverts some of them as well. It does some things plot-wise that, like, at the wrong time, or it kind of like breaks people up and gets people together in a different way than would normally happen in a rom-com. So I like that too, because it's less predictable, and that to me makes it more fun to engage with. Plus, Mos Def is in this, and he's fantastic.
So good. He was such a good actor. He's just a real, oh my God, talk about a talented individual who doesn't get no props from a lot of people because he's just good.
Mara, I have a film recommendation for you.
Wow. Wait,
Be Kind,
let me get my
Rewind.
pen.
Is it Be Kind, Rewind?
No, it's not, but
Damn it!
yeah, that one's good too. Because this is a film that nobody's heard of because it was a TV movie.
Okay.
It's called Something the Lord Made.
Yes, I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
I gotta look it up.
It's got the Lord in it, and I come from like a religious family, so
But it's not about religion.
Lord.
I know, but it's
got the word Lord.
the Lord
Lord,
in the
Lord,
title.
Lord.
Mara, you want to tell people what this is?
No,
I
have
am
a
Lord.
terrible
Yeah,
memory.
yeah.
But yes, I've seen.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
I actually saw this. This was a film that was shown at Pepperdine. I saw it in my undergrad in one of my film classes, and the writer director was there, which was really cool. This is Alan Rickman. I'm just gonna say that. Just put that name out there. Yeah. And it's the story of, I think it's the first ever heart transplant, and it's about like all of the stuff that goes around that, but it was also about that Mos Def was the doctor who was like on this, and it was also the first time that like a person of color had been like the doctor on this kind of thing. So it was a drama. It was very much a drama movie, and it was intense, and both I knew I was gonna like it because I like Alan Rickman, and he's great in everything I've seen him do.
Yeah.
I had never heard of Mos Def before, and after watching this movie, I was just like, "Who's that guy?" Because he is great, and why have I never seen him in anything else? And he really has not done enough. And so when I saw that Brown Sugar was on, I was like, "Oh, Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan. I'm gonna watch this rom-com. Let's have fun." And then freaking Queen Latifah's in it, and Mos Def is in it, and Boris Kodjoe, who I have recently been watching on Station 19. Cujo. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I
and
got you,
his
sis.
wife. his wife, and they play the other love interests for the two characters. So that was kind of an interesting little bit. Totes.
Kevin Hart had a show called Real Husbands of Hollywood, and Forrest and his wife were in that too.
So that was Nelly.
Yeah.
Nelly and Robin Thicke. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
And Nick
Which
Cannon.
is actually funny. Like, I really liked the Real Husbands of Hollywood.
I know,
but
I like
it
that
just,
show too.
It kind of tapered off.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel
like
like
shows do when they forget where they were made.
Yeah. I think Kevin Hart just like went on to do other
He's
stuff
confused.
more.
He's just got a lot going on in his life.
He's been
He's
very
always
busy with
doing
all the
something.
Jumanji movies.
He's busy.
Yep.
Those Jumanji movies film in Hawaii. Like he's been away.
They do?
Yo, if I had a choice, I would choose the movie that's in Hawaii and stay there for a few months.
Hey man, vacation movies,
Yeah.
you know, they're
Yo,
that's why Adam Sandler's doing
golden
all
line.
that's all that's why Adam Sandler, that's all he's doing is vacation movies, you know. He's just like, I kind of want to go to Paris. Let's do a movie in Paris, and I'll do a terrible comedy there, and
So
Netflix
good.
will pay for it.
I really need to rewatch this movie though, because I did not know that Alan Rickman was in this.
It's an intense one.
It's heavy.
Like
It's heavy.
it's good. It's a good movie, but it is heavy. So you definitely have to be in the right mindset for it. I mean, just because of the subject matter. Like the subject matter is just like, obviously this is going to be an intense movie to watch.
I was like, wasn't he like a janitor? He's a mechanic. He was a mechanic.
Yeah, because he was not a doctor. Like he just was really, really smart. It was similar to like Good Will Hunting, where it's like you see someone who has potential and you decide to give them a chance to actually show that potential to other people and do something with it. So it's a little bit of like the white savior story, because of course it is.
I mean, but it had to be back then because nobody.
But
else
it had
was
to be
gonna
back
help.
then. But you know how else was anything unfortunately going to happen just because of the way the world works? But and I think Alan Rickman also was like Southern in it, so he had like a Southern accent.
Really?
So
Wow.
I feel like Southern is probably one of the easier accents for British people to do, though. I think that the cadence is kind of similar, so it's probably a little easier. I feel like Alan Rickman's a talented actor anyway.
And also,
so
it's
he will
easy
do
to
it,
hear. It's easy
That's
to
true.
hear a Southern accent. So when you're practicing, you can be like y'all, and you can really hear it.
Yeah.
Versus you in Britain and American, like.
So
Yeah.
supposedly, Southern accent, the way we know it now, used to be the British accent. Then it kind of changed over time.
Yeah.
So that's why
that
they could
makes sense to me.
probably
Yeah.
do it better. Yeah. So
I'm trying to think.
Alan Rickman.
I don't even know where you could find it though. I don't know that it's like
That's on
streaming
HBO
anywhere. I don't know
Max.
how to.
HBO
Oh, it's on
Max.
HBO Max.
Yeah, I looked it up while you were.
Was it an HBO movie? Because that would make sense. Because it was a
was.
TV movie. So
It
okay,
was.
cool. Well, then it is available to people. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's also on Prime.
Oh, it's also on Prime. Okay,
Yeah, you gotta
it's
pay
more
for it,
available
though.
than I realized.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It really is a good one. Any last thoughts on Man Up?
Yeah, since we've completely gone off topic.
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
That's okay. Like I said, people
shoot.
come to this to see us.
I think, yeah, I think I talked about all the talking points I loved. You know, talked just about the beginning and the bar. I don't think. I mean, I kind of briefly talked about her, like how she was breaking down near the end. Realized how much she kind of made a mistake or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, it was just, you know, that's where I really began to feel sorry for her. You know, just where like everything just come crashing down. Because we always think about like, you know, it's not so much that her making the mistake of not being with the right guy per se. It was just more like everything in her life just suddenly just caved in, and her decision with letting him go was like kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for her.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like kind of what you're saying earlier, Mara, about that moment where she just like whispered, like, you know, like wanting to invite him to come with her. It's just like she kind of realized like she's made all these bad decisions, and at that moment she's like, God, only if I did this and only if I did that, you know. And it just, you know, it was such a sad moment. Then, and it was also great too, like seeing how some of the family members kind of support her. Like one of the guys, I can't remember his name, just like, oh, is that one guy, huh? No, that guy, that asshole fucked you
not the
over or
creeper
whatever.
guy.
No, it was God, I think it was like her sister's husband or something.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because she knew, I remember well, am I mixing my plots up? I was like, she knew that Nancy was seeing somebody.
Yeah.
And it was like the conversation they were having with the family, just like, oh, well, she might be seeing someone. Oh, great, good for her. Nancy's looking up, but she's still got to make it to the party to give the speech. And then it was just like, oh man, she's late. What the hell? And then she just broke down crying. It's like, oh no, So, it's that they really enjoyed their moment a lot, and I just loved how they flipped it over with just seeing Simon Pegg, coming to that realization that how he's not a good fit for this woman, that the actual blind date, even though they both have those books and they may have similar interests, and you think that, oh, they'd be a perfect match for having similar interests, but it's never like that, and so you can't just like look for the one or two things that you two like, you just gotta connect in some way, and he really connected her that night. What I do find it funny how she was just like, oh, I'm gonna help you find this woman, so let's go, let's just go with you.
I loved that element.
Yeah, no, it's like I was expecting her to yell at him or whatever, just like, oh, like all
she was
this
like
time,
romance.
Yeah, she was like, I just want to see,
Yeah.
I just want to see people fall in love.
No, I think she was excited that she helped. She helped somebody who was down on their luck with love, and she was like, you need to do this, and then it worked for her. And she was like, yes, I was right.
Yeah, I like that.
That was realistic.
Especially in the beginning when she first met Nancy, who was just like giving her like all these lectures and everything. So it was like, much to your point, it was just like, yeah, everything. I'm here to like shove it in her face that I'm right about these things, and so.
I think that scene, the fact that we get to see the interaction between the two people who were supposed to go on the date.
Yeah.
And how it definitely makes me wonder about like how that would have gone if he hadn't just had that night with Nancy. Like if he hadn't seen what else was out there and he just went with the person who was like literal textbook.
Yeah, and also shallow because she was like 20 years younger than him, and
yes, and he'd gone through if it had been their date and he'd taken her to make his ex-wife jealous, and who knows what would have happened there. Like there's just so many what ifs in that scenario that would be interesting to see how that would play out. But I love that we still get to see that date.
Yeah.
One thing they mentioned that I'm going to carry with me is like, if I ask someone, oh, where do you work? And they say, oh, I work in the city. Oh, red flag. Because that means nothing. And I love how they use that joke like multiple times. It's like, oh, where does she work? She works in the city. Well, what does that mean? Like, what does she does exactly? Oh, I don't know. She says she works in the city.
A whole bunch of jobs in the city.
I feel like go for it. Yeah.
I just thought she might have been like a stripper or something, and she was just doesn't.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when you said that.
No, strippers aren't in the city. They got to be on the outskirts of the city.
I don't know.
Have you ever been to a strip club downtown anywhere? No.
Yes, they have them here.
I am from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Shit. Y'all are just in unique places. I'm in the Midwest. All our casinos and all our strip clubs are on the edges of all the cities.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
In fact, let me do a strip club search right now.
I'm
pretty sure I can find one 10 minutes away.
I will tell you.
Speaking of, hey, Yousif, I have decided that I'm moving to Vegas.
What?
Oh, really?
That's a big thing.
It's a huge thing.
No, I've been wanting a desert for a while, but it's gonna be a while. I need to get this IT career up and going and make some damn money. And then I plan to come on out to Vegas. I went there recently and everything just seemed to be exactly what I was looking for in life. So.
Okay.
Wow.
Definitely recommend the West Side.
The West.
Not because I grew up there, but.
You're a little biased.
I'm a little biased. It's a fucking mixed town. Don't go to Henderson. As we like to call it, Hendertucky. You'll find out why.
Are they racist?
You'll find out. Yes.
No.
Oh, I guess we found out why.
It's a crap load of ignorant white people up there in that part of the city.
Man.
Yeah, no,
So,
I don't want to go there. Thank you. Hit me up on all those places not to go.
No, and like they got great food there and great stuff in Henderson. But I wouldn't recommend living there. You know, just saying.
Like go there for maybe a little, like an afternoon, and then come back.
Let's get back to like not Henderson.
Okay, there's other places to go eat food in Vegas.
Yeah.
East places.
So East Side isn't that bad, but it's definitely, if you're lucky, you could like get a house where like one of the mafia used to live in. You know, there's a lot of those in the East Side.
East Side.
Okay. Yeah, the East Side, because that's like all the older houses there. So like stuff that was built in the 50s or 60s. Anything past 70s is mostly West Side. Avoid North Las Vegas. Always avoid North Las Vegas.
Why?
Unless you're born there, then.
Oh my God, I thought you said unless you do porn.
No, I mean they probably do porn in North Las Vegas, but like avoid that unless you're there. Unless like you're from North Las Vegas, like don't go there.
What's going on in North Las Vegas?
Like, you know, drive-bys and gang shootouts.
Crime.
You know, the same shit that happens here in St. Louis.
Yeah, you know, I mean, a friend,
Actually,
my brother's
I really
friend.
think Vegas crime is better than St. Louis crime.
I think St. Louis is pretty crime, like higher up on the crime.
Really?
Yeah, we made number
Shocking.
1 in the country not too long ago.
I know, it's shocking.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Well,
Yeah.
number 1. You could definitely die here.
Oh man.
Stop being so excited about that.
That's the
You could
tourist.
definitely die
That's the
here.
commercial for the tourists. We're number
That's
1.
the slogan.
my
That's the
gosh.
slogan.
I was watching these Korean guys go to the US for the first time, and one of their friends was driving them to the airport, and they were like, hey, you got anything to tell us before we leave for America? And he was like, don't get shot.
If you can avoid it, don't get shot.
Don't get shot. Okay, because there's guns everywhere. That's
I
what
mean,
they say. It's true.
Fair.
pointless advice because there's not really a good way to avoid it.
No. Duck. Stay away from windows.
Yeah.
Don't go to North Las
so-
Vegas.
Don't go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, don't go to North Las Vegas. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a
I mean,
while.
that's-
I think maybe in the next
Yeah.
2 years or so, I'll be headed out there.
2 years, okay.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm too broke to try anything right now, unless my wonderful fans would like to see me in Vegas earlier and they want to donate so that I can go to Vegas.
Can you do it
Donate.
like that every
Yeah.
time? That should always be your donate voice.
Donate. Yeah.
Vegas!
Vegas.
Vegas, yes, Vegas. Anyways, back to the movie. So yeah, I mean, I did laugh a lot. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Tess Morris is the new Nora Ephron. I want her to make more movies. Why isn't she making more movies? I mean, Catherine the Great is great, but you know,
It's just called The Great. It's just The Great.
Oh, that's right, The Great, which is about Catherine the Great.
Was that the one on
Indeed.
Hulu?
Yeah, she's a writer on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was freaking fantastic. No
There you
black
go.
people either, but still freaking fantastic. I'm
It
gonna
is
need her.
Russia.
I am going to need her. Well, no, there was a black person.
Oh wait, there was.
Yeah,
There were a few, and then
Yeah.
that one guy's Indian. Oh yeah.
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 Okay, I need her to do a
Diversify.
little bit better though. Anyway,
Yeah, they
in there.
diversified it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it made all the Russians happy.
I mean it's true though. It's 100% true. Black
See?
people have existed in these.
I'm
places
bringing you
for a
guys
long
into
time.
my Tess Morris love, and I'm happy about it because I want more people to discover her. She's great.
Oh,
Yeah, I want her to write more movies, and I'm a little upset that she's not writing more movies.
I'm out.
Where is her? Give me her agent. Give me like her agent's number, and let me call her and be like, I want her to make more rom-coms. All right, as a consumer, I need her to make another movie,
See,
so we could watch it and talk about it because she is the next Nora Ephron.
I just need her to be a sponsor on my romantic comedy
I was gonna
movies,
say,
and then
what
those
about-
will be the black films that she needs.
Yeah.
So there we go. Yo, hit me up.
yeah, Mara, you got to edit this video and post it so that it's out there for her to see. That's
Hey,
is on
I'm
you.
working on it. Hey, we're so close. We are so close. Atlanta's gonna be the first thing I post, and it's gonna be in the next few weeks here.
Word.
Yes.
Are we
Yes,
watching
prepare
an episode
yourselves.
of Atlanta today, or
Oh no, different day, right? Different day? Because
Who
you
would
guys
have
have
thought-
things to do?
Who would have thought I would beat you to YouTube, Mara?
I know. Story of my life. Story of my life, literally. I have an idea and everybody else does the idea because it takes me so long to do the idea.
That's why you gotta just execute the ideas right away. Once you get an idea, just fucking do it.
It's okay.
Just
I
do
Be like
only,
it.
Shia LaBeouf.
I only have one. Yeah, I see you. I only have one video up so far, so it's not like a super good channel yet.
It's all right. We're getting there. We're all getting
I
there.
will say I'm close to having the second one up though, because I filmed my reaction after, like, when I got home from watching Jagged and my thoughts on Jagged. So that has, it's basically made. I've basically polished it to where it needs to be. Now it's just a matter of watching it to make sure that the exported file is good and then posting it. So
you're gonna do that today?
I'm gonna do that sometime this week, probably.
Okay.
Nice. All right. I'll race you.
Okay.
No,
I'm not in that
Oh.
race, but okay.
I'm not gonna race you at all.
My brother's
Oh.
been doing these educational videos, and he featured me on them, and he already posted them. So
Wow.
Oh, well then.
education?
Wow,
Like,
Yousif
what's he
passed us
teaching
both
us?
up.
What's he teaching us?
a lot of the one he did recently is about these two West African Muslim men who were slaves, but because they knew how to write Arabic and read Arabic, like one was a slave in Jamaica and the other one was a slave in like the South Carolina, I want to say, one of the Carolinas. But the point is like how these two men like were in two separate places, but when they wrote, they would write very similar things, almost like the same exact things, like verbatim, about their experiences as slaveries. And funny thing, one of them like was bought by a British man because he recognized that he wrote Arabic, so therefore like he recognized how Arabic is like a higher form of education and intelligence. So therefore he saw this black man as like an above slave, for lack of a better term. So he kind of brought him a freedom, just because the fact that this guy knew Arabic. So
it's like a history.
Like history, is it like reenactment or what is the?
yeah, it's a history thing. So he was talking to it, and I was just there like reacting and asking questions and trying to be entertaining. I had a moment where I just kind of like look at the camera, and just like, yeah, well, because we don't talk about that because white people likes to denounce like black people stuff. I was just like, huh, that sounds
Critical race
familiar.
theory. Oh, we gotta
Oh,
stop
kinda
that.
like
Critical
start
race
look.
theory.
Can you
Like,
gotta share this
sounds
with us.
familiar.
Because
should
race
share
is
this
so
with us.
I'll share it.
critical. I don't know. White people got problems. Not
White
y'all,
people.
but
White
other
people.
white people.
White people does this, black people does that. Lights go out, white people panic. Lights go out, black people planned it.
Oh, you
I don't know this song.
I don't need either.
It's Dave
I
Chappelle.
thought I knew
Oh.
what you were talking about.
Okay. I was like, I don't know.
My final thoughts. I give this movie a B+.
Oh, that's good.
That is
Yes,
Mara.
a B+. Yes,
Yeah.
I was very much entertained, except for those few little things that I did not like, but those are mostly technicalities, and they just get points off because of those. Other than that, this was a good movie.
The technicalities that are just about the things that you don't like about the genre. So because it's in the genre.
No, it's the fact that there's no
Yes.
black people in this movie.
Well, there's that too. Yes,
That's like-
but
that's
the other
kind
They
of
get a
major
solid
one.
minus.
But that's another
for that.
technicality, right?
That's
They
kind
get
of a
us-
major.
I didn't call that a technicality.
Yeah.
I call it a technicality because, I mean, we're going to be watching older movies and stuff, and things were different then, and so that is that. But this was 2015, so
Yep.
they get a minus for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the physical comedy in this. The whole window thing. Oh my God, so fucking funny. I like literally like paused it, laughed so hard. I like ran out of my room, like turned a circle and like came back in. It was like, that's so fucking funny. It was
Like I have to process this right now.
Oh, I need to see that.
it was really entertaining. And final thoughts, Erika MG.
Erica?
I really enjoyed it too. despite what my one feeling about how I don't love that they portrayed her as a desperate woman. But other than that, yeah, I like it a lot. I also did not like Simon Pegg's hair, but that's a whole different thing.
That's a different technicality there.
I don't think he ever had good hair. I don't think he really ever had good hair.
I do have a question. Blow dryer and try to puff it up and make it look.
He's trying to look like a romantic lead. Okay, it's new for him.
Yeah, it was a bad hairdo.
I'm really confused about her outfit. Did she change in the bar, or did she just straighten up and wipe off her sweat? And he was like, "You just looked so good," and you came back from the bathroom.
It's because it was a spaghetti strap.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but she was already wearing the same thing. She just had on a jacket before that. I'm pretty sure she took off.
Now he sees a spaghetti strap, and he's like, "Oh my, you got skin."
And she wiped off all the sweat.
When the girl takes off her glasses and suddenly she's super hot.
You mean like,
yeah,
is that a
thing.
trope?
Yeah, it is. It totally is. Oh my God, Mama, you just look so much.
I do.
Oh my
you
goodness.
You can see my eyelashes.
Yeah.
I don't know where my glasses are actually.
Has everybody seen 1917?
No.
Yes.
Wait,
yes.
One person.
Yes.
One person. Okay. Have you guys heard of 1917? Do you know what it is? The people who have not seen it.
Yes, Jimmy has watched it a bunch of times.
Okay. So it's a war movie, and it's the same kind of thing where it's like there's a timeline in it that you're kind of following to get to the end goal of the story. In it, you have two people who are like trying to book it to get to a destination to warn people about stuff that's going on. And there's two people in this, and one of them is Dean Charles Chapman, who is the boy that shows Simon Pegg where to go in this. So he is also in this running. Like his role in this movie is running to get somewhere.
He's just a guy who's just running. He's either running towards something, away from something. He's just running.
We need to get a guy who's good at running. Get that guy.
Tom Cruise.
I was watching this movie and I was like, why do I recognize that kid? I can't figure it out. And then I got to the end of the movie and I was like, I'm gonna have to look it up in the credits. And then it came up with Dean Charles Chapman in the credits. I was like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. He's also running in this movie. That's hilarious.
Is that the one that was 2019?
Probably. I mean, it came out recently.
Yeah.
What are years anymore? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that this one guy in here is really hot.
Is it George McKay?
No, it's
I gotta look.
George McKay.
Nipan Rizwan.
Okay.
Look it up.
Oh,
Can't see. Still cannot see.
shit.
I believe you though. Oh yeah, he's pretty good looking.
Oh my God,
okay.
he's super good looking.
So I just realized that Star Trek came out before this movie, and Simon Pegg did a lot of running in those movies as well. So
That's true.
yeah,
You know,
He
I
was
guess it
prepared
is
for this
very
role.
hard to
Well,
look good and run at the same time.
two of the Star Trek movies. One of them came out after, because there are three.
that's true. That's right.
Nerds.
You're a nerd.
I am a nerd.
Nerd is not an insult to me.
Simon
Nerd is like,
Pegg,
yes,
much
thank
better
you.
in Star Trek.
We need to pick our
my
next
brother-
movie, and that'll finish us up. Go ahead.
He also did Star Wars the same year as this movie. Nerds.
That is right. He did. He absolutely did. But there was no running in that movie.
He was not in shape in that movie.
Yeah.
So, we need to pick our next romantic comedy. We are coming up on the holiday season, and I thought this was going to be a simple search, but then it pulled up like 3,000 movies.
Yeah, you know how many like holiday rom-coms are there? Like,
Yeah, I'm
there's like
looking at it.
There's two channels dedicated to that.
Jesus.
I mean,
All
like,
they
Netflix
show
has
this
a
month.
lot.
We're not watching a Hallmark movie.
Netflix has a lot
We
of
are
good
not.
ones.
Watching a Hallmark movie.
I would
Dear
like
God.
to go old school just once because we haven't done an old school one since Some Like It Hot.
Okay.
Is
So-
Die Hard
Oh,
a
that
rom-com?
old school. No, it is not. But nice try.
But he's trying to get his wife
No.
back.
No.
It's about
No, no.
love.
It's barely a Christmas movie.
It's about love.
I wouldn't mind watching Christmas in Connecticut.
Is that part of the sandwich?
So
I don't know, probably. There's also The Bishop's Wife and The Holiday Affair. It's a whole bunch of shit.
I'll just let you guys know I might be Mara for this next part if we're doing a Christmas movie. I'm a Scrooge McGrinch. You know, I'm just like very.
Yousif, who are you talking about here? Like, come on, man. You could imagine the Christmas movies I like.
I am very anti-Christmas, so you know.
Have you all seen A Diva's Christmas Carol?
No.
It's an adaptation of Christmas Carol starring Vanessa Williams, and she's a like Mariah Carey type character, or let's say Beyonce. She's more of a Beyonce, or she left her group behind, and it was, oh my god, it's one of my favorite movies. I watch it every Christmas.
That's good.
It's a good one. I like it.
I watch.
But it's not a romantic comedy, so I won't put it up here.
I watch that half-hour Grinch cartoon every year.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You're a mean one. Yeah, I can't hit it. I'm not a bass. You sing it, Yousif.
I can't remember the lyrics now.
Mr. Grinch.
The Grinch.
I wouldn't have
the biggest asshole I ever know.
39 and a half foot tall.
So there is several Black holiday movies, because you know this is one of the big seasons for that.
Jingle Jangle. Please tell me you guys have seen Jingle Jangle.
I have not yet. I was waiting to react to it. So
this is how anti-Christmas I am. I wouldn't even see Jingle Jangle because it's so Christmas. So
it's not really Christmas,
is it a romantic comedy though?
It's not a rom-com. That's the thing. Like it doesn't really fit this. But I did it last year for my Black Film series. I'm gonna do it again this year because like nobody watched it with me. I did like a watch party and only Peter Brown came, and that was it.
Aww.
All right. Well, this year you can react.
How come I wasn't invited? I'll show up for you.
You might not have been in the group yet, but you're in the group now, right?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything from Peter for like what seems like a year now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I just saw him at AFF.
You're muted, Erika.
I'm like, what group? What's happening? I'm blinded by the sun now. I'm like
blinded by the light. We both went to the same place. Okay.
Okay, yes. I'll watch it this year, but what group?
Jingle Jangle. So for my Black Film series that I've started on Facebook, like gosh, almost a year and not quite a half ago.
You've been really doing well with that.
I know, and no one's keeping up. Like I'm being very consistent, and there's no participation, and it's fine.
Nope, stay with it. Stay with it.
I am. I'm just
you gotta keep doing it because for some reason I'm only seeing one thing per month for some reason. So like if you go back to see the likes, that's the only time it seems to be popping up on Facebook for me. Mm-hmm. I do not know why. I don't know why Facebook rather prefers this guy I never talked to over you, who I talk to like way more. So
okay, I might.
So yeah.
Depending on like if I figure out how to use Instagram and YouTube, I might find a way to kind of like try to promote things on other things and get more people to come in. We'll see. But yeah, so since I'm currently, I've realized that like I started the subgenre of Black love as the next thing, and I've only got one film so far, and I'm currently Beyond the Lights is the next one that I'm going to talk about on Monday. But that's like right in December. We're now in December, and so it's kind of like holiday time to do holiday stuff. So I might cut into this series just to do Jingle Jangle, just so more people see it.
Hey,
collaboration.
Hey,
hey.
Isn't You Got Mail a Christmas movie?
No.
I don't think I can watch any more Nora Ephron movies with Mara.
And Mara said she wanted to watch a like movie with actual Black people in it. So You Got Mail is not gonna.
Dave Chappelle's in it.
Dave Chappelle is in it.
Yeah, but that one guy. That one guy.
I know we just said that we are going to do one with Black people in it, but I looked up romantic Christmas comedies, and Bad Santa is on this list. Is that a romantic comedy?
Nope.
That's a comedy. No, it's just a comedy.
No.
Yeah.
What about
The,
Elf? Is Elf a romantic comedy?
It's a romantic com. It's much more about family
Comedy
and like
with
father
romance?
son, but it has a
not
romantic
about him.
storyline in it.
I have not seen that movie.
So kind of
never
like
seen-
Friday's Rule,
oh,
where
he
it's
doesn't like
not the
Christmas movies.
major.
I'm anti-Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
Elf
trying to
is
say-
good.
fun. Elf is so much
No.
fun.
So much.
And I hate Will Ferrell too, so I don't like him.
Oh,
so.
well, then-
Okay, yeah,
You
that's
hate
probably a
Will
no.
Ferrell.
Can I, Yousif, have you seen Stranger
Guess that
Than
makes
Fiction?
sense.
Yousif?
No, yes, no.
Okay, because that
Have
film, if there's any film that can turn you around on Will Ferrell, it will be that film. And it's one of my favorites.
I liked
Actually,
Lego
counterpoint.
Movie.
Counterpoint. Everything Must Go. Really showed Will Ferrell as like a real actor.
Mhm.
So like, I watched that. I was like, why can't he do more of this? But no,
Yeah,
every time
okay.
he has to be a man child on screen. So
See, seriously, Stranger Than Fiction. If it's not really a rom-com. It has a romance storyline in it as well. It's a different kind of movie though. But I love that movie, and any chance to watch that movie, I will take it. So if we can watch that at some point, I want you to see that movie because it's great. First of all, it has
All
Emma
right.
Thompson in it, and I will watch anything that Emma Thompson does, and she's fantastic.
well,
it has
I'm
Queen
sold
Latifah.
already.
It has Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
It has Maggie Gyllenhaal. And
Oh, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh.
And it's basically has anybody else heard of this movie?
Yeah, I
was it
haven't
again?
seen it though.
Okay, Stranger Than Fiction.
I swear
So
I
this-
have.
The storyline is, so Will Ferrell is, he has this sort of routine in his life that he goes through every day, and we hear Emma Thompson narrating his life, and we're watching him walk through his life, and then all of a sudden he looks up and you realize he can hear the narration. So it's got a bit of like a Truman Show element to it.
Mhm.
And because what she says in the narration is like, he didn't realize that this simple act would lead to his imminent death. And that's when he's like, excuse me, what? And all of a sudden you're like, wait, he can hear her? What's happening? And then he's like, excuse me, hello, is anybody there? And then everyone's like, well, what are you doing? And he's like, why am I gonna die? What's gonna happen? And so then he thinks he's going crazy because whatever. And then you see Emma Thompson's character, who is the author of the book about him. Like, he is a character in her book. So they're existing in the same world somehow. And she's having writer's block, trying to figure out how to kill this character. And her thing as a writer is that she always kills her characters. So she's trying to develop the perfect way to kill off this character. And at the same time, the character is living his life and trying to not die. And so it's this great setup for comedy and heart and unconventional storytelling. It's so good. It's so good. Did I tell you?
Let's make that our Christmas watch.
It's not a Christmas
It's
movie.
not a Christmas movie, and it's not a romantic comedy, right?
It has a romance element in it, but it is not a romantic
Yeah.
comedy specifically.
So, what
Damn.
about this Christmas?
I've never seen this Christmas.
2007?
Oh, I
Mm.
just 2007.
I do love that
Mhm.
song though. Oh my gosh, I could listen to
It's
every version of
Christmas.
that song. It's Chris Rock, which
It's more of
Oh.
a
Okay.
family Christmas movie, but there is large quantities of romance in it.
is
Idris
that Regina
Elba's in
King?
it, Regina
Yeah.
King's in it, Columbus
Idris
Short,
Elba and Regina King. Oh,
Loretta
stop me.
Devine, Chris Brown,
Aleph.
Lorenzo Tate. No, that's Laz Alonso. I combined them. Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of people in this one. Mekhi Phifer's in here.
Hmm.
So, okay, that's the next one. Everybody okay?
What's it available on?
Oh, yeah, I guess let's.
Like,
Okay.
how can I watch it?
We're also gonna have to do this one before Christmas. Like, we're gonna have to watch it before Christmas, right?
It's on
Mm.
Prime.
I could. Huh? I
It's
could.
on Prime, so we
could
could watch it, MG, if you want to watch it with me.
Do we want to do a watch party?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. That's cool. It's just the
And
four
that way
of
we
us,
would
right?
all have to
can
watch
really
it
get
and then
together.
talk about it. We can just like all talk about it and watch it at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, wonderful. So
Oh, great.
we'll
I'll
pick a
bring my beer.
Saturday. Everybody wear your
Bring my
onesie
alcohol.
pajamas
Don't have
and your
onesie
hot
pajamas.
cocoa.
I
Wait,
don't want to wear
okay.
hot cocoa.
And, come on. Bring your hot cocoa in a mug, please.
Okay.
Okay. So next Saturday, or you guys want to jump down another week?
I can't do it next Saturday. Next Saturday, I'm gonna go see Jagged in New York.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
Wait,
Saturday
again?
after that.
You
Yeah,
saw it
see it
once.
again.
Okay, yeah.
So tomorrow is the Lauren Patton rock concert.
Yeah.
And then I have like 4 days here, and then I go back to New York and I go see Jagged. And then I
Okay, so we'll do our thing on the 18th then?
Yeah, I don't think I currently have anything on the 18th. I'm trying to figure out, because I am going to go back to Austin for part of the holidays, so I need to figure out what my travel plans are there, but I think I'm not doing that till sometime that week, so I don't think it will be Saturday. I think it would probably be a weekday, so I think that should work fine. And if I know that this is happening, then I can just plan around it too. I don't see.
Yeah, I think I just have something. I think I have something that evening, so I should be fine.
Yeah, I'm very much free, so it's totally up to you guys.
I kind of like this idea of watching it together too, especially if Yousif hates Christmas. Because I think the commentary will be really good.
What I love about
I'll bring out some wine. I'm gonna be so bitter.
I want to see if this
Is this a
first time watch for everybody on this movie?
I saw it, but it was a long time ago. So
okay.
I may have seen it, but honestly, all of these kind of feel the same, so it's really hard to remember which ones I watched and which ones I didn't.
Because they are all the same.
Yes, Yousif.
Wait.
I mean, Yousif, I am not against you in your dislike of Christmas movies. Like, I am totally there with you.
No, I just dislike everything associated with Christmas.
He is just a Grinch.
I like Christmas lights. I like Christmas lights, but I do not like how they run up electric bills.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because our neighbors have so many, and I'm like, their electric bill must be so huge.
Yeah, it must be. You know what's one thing to do? Just don't put them up. You don't have to put them up.
Yeah.
See,
Don't put up Christmas lights.
either.
I'm a holiday fiend. I love this season. I love all the movies that come out. Like, I love that Netflix has a Christmas section of stuff that you can actually just watch Netflix Christmas movies.
So when are you gonna watch Jingle Jangle? Because I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to. I'm doing this. I'm like, oh, it's December. I need to figure that out. So
it's totally December right now.
I think I'll probably do it maybe the week after. So maybe after Christmas.
Okay.
Because I think people will probably be busy around Christmas itself, and because it's not specifically a Christmas movie, it's more just kind of holidays and festive and stuff. It's so pretty too. Oh my gosh, this film is so gorgeous. You're gonna be busy that weekend, Yousif? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I'm gonna be eating Chinese food on Christmas Day. Yeah.
Hey, that's very Christmas story of you.
Actually, yeah, it's Christmas Story.
There's actually a movie that has that in it.
Very Jewish of you, actually.
You're actually. There you go.
I'm not gonna lie. One Christmas, we just could not figure out what to eat. We had already did the big meal and stuff, and we were eating that like the next day, and we were like, "What are we getting?" And I was like, "Chinese food."
It's the roast beast. That's what the Grinch eats. It has to be the roast beast.
No,
Yeah,
I get chicken and broccoli.
Yes, thank you for the rhyme. But yeah, so I'm excited about this Christmas because I've never seen this Christmas before, and I am a bit of a connoisseur of those holiday family get-together type movies. So it'll be interesting to see how this one relates. Because
I love that stuff.
Yeah, and I love adding a new one
because I kind of
I kind of rewatch the same ones all the time because they're the ones that are always on. And honestly, like this Christmas is on a lot. I've never watched it. It tends to
Christmas horror movie. I know there's Krampus.
There's a few.
Another one, right?
There's one that's called
Black Christmas.
Yeah.
There's that. There's Better Watch Out, which is like Home Alone but a horror movie.
Yeah. That just came out though, right?
It came out maybe.
Oh, Home Alone is a Christmas movie.
4 years.
Oh,
Do you like Home Alone, Yousif?
Also, like It's a Wonderful Life. I love It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh my God, Jimmy won't watch that with me.
That's a good
Home
one.
Alone is the I'm doing a holiday film series on Instagram, and Home Alone is the film this week that I'm talking about. So I posted something about it right before we did this, actually. My second day of posting.
I saw somebody making fun of Home Alone, and they were like the realistic version of Home Alone, and the guys were like, "Hey, watch out for that paint can right there. It looks like somebody left some marbles out here." And
not
then
smart.
the kid comes down from the top of the stairs and he's like, just so you guys know, I have a tarantula. And then they just like shoot him.
Horrible.
And they
That
just
is
shoot
not-
him. And I was like,
That is not the John Hughes script at all.
that's funny. That one's more up my alley.
Yeah, Home Alone's probably my favorite film to watch at this time of year. I just love that movie.
Trump's in that one.
No,
never
Home
seen
Alone,
it.
not Home Alone
It-
2. Just Home
I've
Alone.
never
Oh.
seen
Yes.
You've never
Home
seen
Alone?
Home Alone?
it. No,
You see how all of us were kind of shocked by that?
I
And
know.
it took us a while to process.
I know. It's like
How did that happen?
Not
Do you not
watching
want
Star
to,
Wars or
Erica?
something.
Or
You just said you like holiday movies.
I know. I don't know why I've never seen. I
Weird.
think that Macaulay Culkin just annoyed me.
you need to see it, Erica. It's so good. It's
I'll
so
watch it.
okay. It's Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus directed it.
Yeah,
John Williams does the music, and so the music
Oh.
is fantastic.
fucking great.
And John Hughes wrote the script, so all the
John
characters.
Williams, his music always sounds the same.
Yes. All the little
There
bells
are
and
similar
stuff.
themes,
How dare you?
but he is a genius composer, so I resent that.
Okay.
So you saying
Well,
Harry
Erica-
Potter sounds just like Star Wars?
Yes.
Sadly, I could tell you a part that sounds exactly like Star Wars, but we're not going to go into that.
Ah!
Yeah, actually.
Just every composer has themes that they use. It's
The
fine.
theme
but
song.
he-
Du, 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 du. You know, totally different.
Mhm.
Erica, I am down to watch that with you because it has been a year since I've seen Home Alone,
Oh,
and
yay.
it's not one that I particularly like. So I'm down to
Oh.
watch it with you.
I wish Home Alone was a rom-com.
I mean, we
I
could
don't.
still watch it together.
We could still watch it together. Let's watch Home Alone.
Can we watch The Year Without a Santa Claus? That's my
Oh,
That's my favorite.
Oh, that sounds like a great movie. That sounds
That
like a
is-
great movie.
It is a
Oh,
great-
Yousif, the claymation stop motion stuff that you're missing out on by not liking Christmas movies.
I'm Mr. He Miser.
I know, my
I'm
favorite.
Mr. Sun.
I feel like
Da-da.
we need to watch the claymation stuff and then watch Elf and appreciate all of the homage that's in Elf to all that.
You
claymation
guys
stuff.
don't have the time to watch all of these movies with me.
That's very true.
Well, we
Mhm.
can watch Home Alone and Jingle Jangle and
We can do 3.
It's Christmas.
We can
do 3.
We'll do 3.
We just
Yeah. And then just a pitch for New Year's. We should watch New Year's. The one with
New
Lea
Year's Eve?
Michelle in it. Yeah.
Oh, I
Eve?
haven't watched that.
Yeah, what I say.
It's not as good as none of them have been as good as Valentine's Day,
Okay.
but it's still entertaining, and I love a Gary Marshall film.
Oh, and by the way, we still have to watch Atlanta.
Also
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. We got 2 episodes left of that, and the new season's going to be starting up mid next year. And we have to move on to Steven Universe.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes. Steven Universe, yeah.
MG, your life is going to change. I'm telling
Is
you.
it?
I was just listening to
Even
the
more than it
soundtrack.
has in the last 2 months.
I don't know how much more change I can take, you guys.
Yo,
It's been a little
just
overwhelming.
They've all
hang
been
with
good.
this girl, and I got you.
It's
sis.
all been
Hang
good.
with me.
It has all been good.
Yeah.
Like, I have no complaints. It's just the only
Yeah.
complaint is like that it's all happening kind of at the same time, and I'm not able to like breathe in between each one. So
That's okay. You don't need to breathe like
You're
that.
doing
You know,
it.
in swimming,
I like
you just
breathing.
take small breaths when you turn your head to that side.
swimming through people.
It's just like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All
Just
right.
like
Well, thank
that.
you guys so much for joining me. This one was 2 months in the making, but I'm so happy we were all able to get back together.
I'm glad we all
And,
remembered stuff about the movie to talk about it.
Oh, I watched it before.
Of course.
Goodness. Yeah. Also, I don't think I finished it last time. I think I was just gonna hop on with everybody and
I was
like
like, wait, you
pretend.
said you love the end.
No, I finished it this time.
Yeah,
This time I
okay.
started from the part that I stopped at, so I was able to watch the
Mm.
whole movie.
There you go. There you go.
Bad time management. But thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Part of the Narrative. There we go. Unless it goes this way.
What are
I
your
don't know
little
which way that-
sign-offs?
Yeah, you saw it, MG. The little like lightning ball thing that like rotates. It says "Part of the Narrative." That part. Yeah, that thing. You guys will all see this soon. Yeah. Thanks for joining me, Erica, Yousif,
Yay.
MG.
Thank
It's
you.
been wonderful. I love you guys. Everybody, donate.
Look at
Donate.
the camera.
Oh, you're
Look at
looking
the
right in
camera.
my eye.
Well, I'm looking at them, but it's also looking at you guys. So I'm sorry, but donate so that I can donate to these wonderful people who have given me their wonderful time to entertain y'all. Yes. Thank you guys
so much
for joining
attitude.
me. I know, right? They love me though. They will love me when I post a video. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop recording then. You guys got anything you want to say to the audience?
I think we said, what's the sign off?
Oh my God, you're right.
That's why I said, what are your sign-offs, Mara?
It's been so long.
I tried to prompt her.
Oh yeah, I thought you were.
I got it. Don't find the time, make the time. Stay passionate, and I wish you every happiness. Good night.
Starting with tonight, 'cause you can make a change.